Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. Would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket.
Good morning, good evening, good dawn, good dusk, and welcome to the start of the international summer. I will say it. It is England versus Pakistan. It is the first T20. It's warm-up to the World Cup, which start just literally next week. And thank fuck it isn't the fucking IPL, which I've been watching. Well, I haven't been watching, but I've been coming here to think people think that I'm watching. For the last what seems like fucking eternity, and I cannot stand it. It's all over tomorrow, and then we can get on to the real T20 tournament, which is the World Cup. I am joined this afternoon by no one can be asked to turn up in England, so I've got a couple of Aussies with me. God damn it, I've got Forthy all the way from Melbourne, and I've got Messi from the weather cave in Perth. Who has been with me on the IPL hell? How are you both?
I'm very well, thank you. I mean, only sort of theoretically an Aussie, but in Australia.
I know. Well, technically, fucking he's one of us too, but he refuses to believe it.
Well, I'm very happy to be here, Bear. I'm pleased to say we have had 7.6 millimetres of rain today, which is first rain in 3 weeks. We've been drought-stricken in Perth, so I'm just happy about the rain.
Well, I think we've had about 2.5 times what we're supposed to have had in a year already, or something stupid like that. It's been 8 to 10 times wetter than it normally is over here, so you should have some of ours. But hey,
well, we could use it.
We've had a happy mean, I would say.
Yeah. Well, that's Melbourne all over, isn't it? Let me give you the playing 11s. Pakistan won the toss and decided to field, I believe. Is that right?
Correct.
That's right. That's correct.
And
There was a bit of confusion at the toss, actually, but
I didn't see
they've
it.
sorted it out.
Okay. They go with Babar Azam, who's back as captain, Saeem Ayub, Mohammed Rizwan, Fakhar Zaman, Shadab Khan, Azam Khan, Iftikhar Ahmed, Imad Wazam, Shaheen Shah Afridi, Haris Raf, and Mohammed Amir is back, which quite shocked me because I thought he'd declared sort of given up cricket, I thought. But anyway, he is back in the side. He is a quality bowler as well. England go in. Joss Buttler, captain. Phil Salt, Will Jacks, Johnny Bairstow, Harry Book, Moeen Ali, Liam Livingston, Chris Jordan, Jofra Archer is back. We're going to see the Jofra before he breaks down after 2 overs. Adil Rashid and Reece Topley. I think that's a pretty good side. Pakistan's side is always looks good, but I wonder if their problem, because it doesn't look that much change to me, will be the pace of their batting. It's always Babar Azam, Rizwan don't get going. You often feel Pakistan don't really score quick enough in T20s and don't get enough runs a lot of the time. I'm hoping for an England win. Thoughts, boys?
Well, my immediate reflection was I remember the last time these two played each other in a T20 because I was there. It was the T20 World Cup final in Melbourne, which England. It was a very good match actually. It's been a little bit forgotten, but England just about got over the line. Neither of them have covered themselves in glory since then. I think they've only had about 3 victories between them in international T20s in the last 18 months, and now they're coming onto the field.
They are indeed jets of fire. Opening the batting for England will be... Now, I only picked these things out from the list, so I don't know if they've actually got everyone that's supposed to be playing in them, but we'll give it a go. This dude.
Get up on there. So salt, yeah, Phil is here. Want you to push it good into the offside. Scores runs around the park. There's no way you can hide. Push it. So salt, yeah, Phil is here.
Pryor ain't no loss, 'cause we found someone Sattler. Okay, he can't spell Joss, but he also can't spell Butler. Joss Butler. Just because he is Joss Butler. 1 S and 2 T's, Joss Butler.
Now, did you hear those jingles?
Yes.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
I've decided I'd turn them up after 4 years of refusing to do so.
Well, I hardly heard any yesterday, so...
No, they're all really, really quiet, so I just fiddled around with a soundboard and knocked them up a bit. But there are going to be some that are really loud because I've done that. I think the reason I brought it all down was because they're really loud ones, so occasionally you get your ears blasted out.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I think it's the variability that's the biggest problem, isn't it? Because as a podcaster, I'm always paranoid about going into the red, but I don't think it matters that much.
No. You want to be in the red. You want to be in red as long as you don't go hit the top. You're fine, man. You want to be as close to the red, especially with
as close to the red,
especially with just audible speaking. You want to be as close to the red because people can always turn it down, but get annoyed with turning shit up because then someone else comes in and it's really fucking loud, you know.
No, you're dead right.
Anyway, enough about that because bowling is going to be.
It's always time for Shaheen Afridi.
No, not that other guy, that Shaheen.
It's always time for Shaheen Afridi.
No, not that other guy.
Shaheen Afridi.
Whose first ball is a full bunger. I was angling in, came in with the arm on a bad off stump, and Phil Salt might fairly missed out on that, smashing it back past the bowler, but he hit it straight to mid off instead, and it was no run. Bit of in swing, not late though, went early, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yeah, he did miss out there, but first ball, okay. Of course, if it's the last ball, everyone said, well, that's going to be the difference.
Well, of course, Jack was on a. He'd done a spread the other day in the IPL game. Freely in second ball. Ooh, that one goes straight on, and Salt has a big swing, no ding, through to the keeper, and there's no run. And he had a comfy middle where he'd gone under, and when I think the Sunrisers were going like a train at the start, and then the pitch got really tricky. It must have been yesterday. And then eventually they gave an over of about 177. You thought they can't not get it, and no one doesn't get there. And then with the last over they needed 7, and then there was 2 wickets or something in the last over, and he missed it by 1 run. I was like, "Jeez, that's unlucky."
Well, that does remind me of GPL experiences, and I'm wondering if we got the GPL open.
We have got the
today?
GPL open for today. It closes at 3:45. Freedy in. Oh, he's just popped that up as Phil Salt. He's lucky. Obviously, realised he was going to pop it up. Maybe made his hand softer, and it didn't carry to anyone in the ring. They'll get themselves off the mark with a single.
Yeah, that was definitely a false shot. Nice bit of bowling and some early comedy fielding from the Pakistanis as they hit to each other.
Wouldn't be the same without it. Now, Josh Butler scored 200s, I think, in the IPL. A couple of quick ones as well. And Phil Salt's been doing all right in the IPL, actually.
He's in very good form. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is important series for. It's obviously important for everyone.
The problem is, I agree. In terms of getting people back together, it is, but surface is going to be completely different.
Indeed.
IPL form doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Yeah, exactly. That one is nicely played by Butler, out through a gap in the offside. He'll get himself a couple there, I think. And I'm looking forward to the IPL, the World Cup with longer boundaries and all these idiots spooning it up into the outfield, whereas in the IPL it goes for 6, because that really irritates me.
And wickets that aren't roads or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine there'll be a fair few ones that rip a bit in the West Indies, to be fair. I keep saying in places like Guyana, but they're only playing at 3 fish.
What's Edgbaston normally like in terms of T20 wickets?
You're asking the wrong person. Why he's played out to the covers and there's no run.
Definitely asking the wrong person than me. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's quite English. It's reasonably flat for a T20, but there'll always be a little bit in the air early on, and maybe a little bit of nibble off the pitch.
I asked you in the context of considering what my GPL picks should be.
Well, this isn't the IPL. I'd say 190 to 200 would be a good score.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you by the stats whether that's true, but that's the feeling I get in my water if I take sort of 20, 30 runs off what seems to be an average IPL score this year, with impact players, etc., etc. China Freedy in. Last ball of the over is smashed over the top of cover by Phil Salt. Good shot. No one in the outfield, obviously. And it will be the first of these for the day.
That's what fours are for, to get funky on the dance floor.
Sorry, I had the volume down at 0. And that's the end of the first over. Has anyone joined us?
They have. We got a couple of people with us on YouTube. Wamfia Ree says, afternoon, come on England. Anthony Bush says, hello gorillas, happy summer, thank you. Mog is with us, says hello there. And Kieran Roseblades back with us, says afternoon, or finally some proper cricket without power man substitutions, real boundaries, and most importantly, a kind of fair pitch. Let's go bots.
Yes.
Let's go boys, he means, not bots. But bots are also welcome to go with us.
Yes. Right, we have. Now I'm going to have to go and find his jingle, because I seem to remember it's quite a good one as well. I will find it.
Mohammed Amir.
Yeah, Mohammed Amir. He's going to be bowling at Butler. And that is played out to point, and there ain't no run.
So after watching the IPL for so long, to see someone with an economy rate of 7.19 per over, it seems amazingly low.
Yeah.
Right, let's try this one.
Put some money on this motherfucker. No ball.
I love that jingle. That's a big heave. Well, it's not a big heave from Butler. It's one of those ones where he doesn't move his feet, swings his bat, but it's not straight. Gets that inside edge, which fortunately didn't hit a stump. And he will not get a run, and it'll be a dot ball.
His action still looks the same as I remember it from all those years ago. I mean,
Yeah. Not quite as quick as he was when he was younger.
No, he's
Doesn't
probably
look it.
fast medium. Probably fast medium these days.
Because he was
I mean,
genuinely quick, wasn't he, when he started? That one
was.
straighter,
Well, he was
played up to mid-on.
17 when the no ball scandal blew up. But that was the same Test match that Stuart Broad scored 167, I think.
It was, yeah. Because the whole game went into disarray, didn't it? Because they couldn't ban them in the match. It was only after the match, but everyone knew what was going on after the.
Yeah, that's right. It was Mohammed.
After about day 1 or 2, wasn't it?
Yes, it was awful actually. And Stuart Broad's one and only Test century.
Yeah. Well, Mohammed Amir's only gone for 1 in his first 3 balls. England are only 9 for none in the second over. I wonder if in their heads all these IPL players can adjust to what's a better score without an impact sub and all that shit. Is that a wicket? No. They all went up like it did go straight on from the arm from Mo Amir. And there was kind of appeals behind. Who's the keeper? He's a big lad, isn't he?
I was going to say, I think body shaming is very much out of vogue these days. But if I can just say that the wicket keeper is an unusual old school shape.
I bet you he hits the ball bloody hard.
I bet he does.
I bet it goes a long way.
Khan is his name.
Okay, that's pulled by Phil Salt out towards deep mid wicket. There is no one out there. I'm going to come back for 3. That's a rare thing. Don't see many of those in the IPL.
No, you don't. No. If you think of Samir Patel and add on another 10 kilograms, you've basically got the idea.
What's his name?
Azam Khan, is it?
Okay, we don't have a jingle.
Yes,
there.
Azam Khan, that's correct.
No. I don't know if we have a jingle.
He has
for him.
played 11 matches. He's got a good strike rate, 154.
Kieran says, is he a similar build to Wayne Leverock?
Yeah.
He's on the way.
He's got some of the assets that Leverock has.
Fished at by Butler. Horrible shot, really. Just didn't move his feet. And goes through to the keeper. No run. Yeah, we have got a jingle for him.
Looks like the wicket's not coming on, doesn't it?
Yeah. Another one, I think it's the only way to bowl really in T20. That seems to go off the seam a little bit as well.
It did go off the seam, yes.
Away from the batsman.
They might need to adjust their expectations if it's a bit of movement.
Yeah.
I might have to put in some more GPL picks a bit lower then.
I mean, the pitch yesterday in the IPL was quite funny. I mean, it lasted about 6 or 8 overs. Sunrise and Hyderabad were going like a fucking train. They were going on like 11, 12s and over. And it looked really easy. And then all of a sudden it just changed and started gripping, and slow ball bounces were going nowhere, and everyone lost wickets. And then suddenly, when the second innings, it was turning a good foot, which on an IPL pitch for those batsmen was completely flummoxed them. They didn't know what to do. It was quite funny. Butler, no, Salt goes over the top of mid-on. It pitches a little bit and holds, but then it kicks on enough, golf parlance, to the boundary for 4 runs.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Good
Yeah,
shot.
it's one of those golf shots that you think, it's going to plug on the green. That's good. Oh, there it goes over the edge into the bunker. It's one of those.
One where they go, that's kicked and released on the golf coverage.
I guess there'll be a fair old Pakistani constituency in the crowd today, being in Birmingham.
I imagine so. That's a big inside edge with no timing by Phil Salt. Goes out in front of square leg, but they'll get through for a single.
What I couldn't understand when I went to the World Cup final was it was 85% Pakistan in Melbourne. I didn't, because there's actually like 4 times as many English origin people in Melbourne as there are Pakistan origin people. I just never understood that, but anyway, didn't matter.
That didn't matter.
Origin doesn't necessarily indicate support, as I am testimony to.
I genuinely didn't believe there were 70,000 Pakistan origin people in Melbourne. It turned out there was.
There'll be some rich people coming over from Pakistan, no doubt, too. Down the track comes Butler. He doesn't time that greatly, but he's got enough on it. Goes straight back past the stumps at the other end, and both mid on and mid off up inside the circle, couldn't quite chase it down, and so we have another boundary. Not greatly timed, bat turned in his hands, but just enough.
that was a real shot of an under 12 cricketer who's developed early and just whacks the ball and hasn't learnt any technique yet, but it's 4 runs.
Yeah. Mind you, if the bat hadn't turned in his hands, I think it would have travelled faster. Shaheen Afridi's in again. Ooh, nearly squeaks that under the bat. No, surely that's a bump ball, isn't it?
Surely a bump ball. Even on my dodgy stream here, that looked like a bump ball.
Yeah, okay. Shaheen's having a bit of fun. Shadab is having a bit of fun at cover.
Was it Shadab or was it Baba? Maybe it was Shadab.
It was Shadab, I think. Baba's at mid-off.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a bump ball. I'm actually looking at this.
I should say that there are some clouds around, and the Met Office says there's a 60% chance of showers around 3 o'clock. So
that's
we
really
may get
annoying.
a few interruptions.
Oh, fuck's sake. That one is nicely driven. Again, not great timing, but enough once more. Bit better this time. And it goes inside mid-on, all the way down to the boundary. That's, yeah, a better shot. Still not great. But a good over for England this so far.
Yeah, he's just, he knows he's not timing it, but he's been here so many times before that he'll just bludgeon his way through to form, I guess.
Yeah, I wonder what. Yeah, exactly. I wonder what it's like for him, particularly. Oh, a big swish at that. Misses it, beats his outside edge through to the keeper. No run. 4-1, 4. Not a bad over though. 13 off it. Over to you, Messi.
Diana Patterson's with us, please.
Hello.
She says, "Nice to hear you after after watching Essex get close to 600 for 6 against Kent. Wickets, please." Yes, there's been some strange goings on in the kind of championships. Sorry, getting absolutely thrashed for once. Barry Badshaw's with us. He says, "Ahoy, old salts and sea dogs." Based on Bear's last 2 bets on the first innings score, says Kieran, can he please verbalise why he's leaning to above a certain total or not, then ensure that he bets the opposite way to his verbalisation? Thanks. Mog says, remember chunky little Mohammed Shahzad? He was a fire plug hitting machine.
Yeah, that was the Afghani dude, wasn't it?
Plug. I haven't come across the phrase fire plug before.
Imad Wasim.
Well, Mog is original, if nothing else.
Of course. Imad Wasim.
And he is much else.
He is much else, that's absolutely right.
He's going to bowl, and that's pulled by Salt. Has he got enough on that? No. He's been caught out deep wide, mid on, long on even, by Shaheen Afridi. You could see that he really hadn't got anything on that. I bet he's thinking, if I was in India, that'd have gone for 6, god damn it. But no!
Exactly, yeah.
Can't get away with that on a proper pitch. And so we have to say goodbye to Phil Salt, who got, 10 off about 8, 9, 13 off 9.
13 off 9. It's a classic Phil Salt innings, I'm afraid to say. Very good strike rate.
Indeed. We'll say goodbye to him.
The crowd says, the crowd says, the crowd says you're out.
And who's in number 3?
Is it Will Jacks?
Could well be Will Jacks, that's true. I don't think I've got him in here. Oh, that's fine. In case he turns up.
Still putting his pads on. I don't think he's emerged yet.
No, he's out there. And it is indeed Will Jacks.
It might be Will Jacks. Maybe it's Will Jacks. It's probably Will Jacks. Yeah, it's Will Jacks.
Parabadjul says, I wasn't massively impressed with Azam Khan's keeping against Ireland a couple of weeks ago in Clontarf. And Kieran says, I bet the tea ladies have fun. Love trying to keep him fed between innings. I bet they do. And Anthony Bush says, "Can we get a second GPL for the number of overs Archer's going to last?"
Yeah, well, you only got 4 options, unless he doesn't make it on at all. That's a bit unfair, isn't it?
Yeah.
Imad Wasim is
46 quid in the GPL pot now, and you've got another 30 minutes to get in.
Will Jacks plays it up to mid-on, and he gets himself a single to get off the mark. First ball. Whilst I find Imad Wasim jingle to play you, which sounds like this.
But she got me on the counter.
Imad Wasim.
Saw me banging on the sofa.
Imad Wasim.
I even had her in the shower.
And he bowls down leg side, and that's gone to deep backwards square leg, and there'll be a single.
Imad Wasim.
Heard the screams getting louder.
Imad
She
Wasim.
stayed until it was over.
Yeah, it's quite an unusual bowling. Well, it's quite an unusual bowling run-up. When he actually bowls it, it's reasonably conventional.
He comes from quite a steep angle, old school.
Yes. He's got a funny habit of sort of shooting his left arm out before he bowls.
Yeah, and that's played out to Mohammed Rizwan, who's at mid-wicket and has no run. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Why isn't he keeping? I guess.
Oh, literally to make room for the
A lot of
big
room.
man. That's short.
Kieran says he's only in the team because Birmingham is famous for its all-you-can-eat buffets.
It's played back to Wasim by Jacks. It's too short, and he couldn't get it past the bowler.
Probably got an intro from Samit Patel.
Yes, he demolished a Balti, this guy. He's a big lad.
He is.
Jax, who looks more like a matinee idol, but let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Last ball of the over. He goes back, cuts, hits the man on the circle. And that will be no run to any over. 4 overs done. England are 27 for 1. So, not going on particularly quick.
Pirate Badgel says, Mohammed 2-ton towing capacity Shazad. Saw him a few weeks ago in the domestic stuff in Kabul. Didn't look too bad. And seriously says, G'day legends, what's the over-under for golf-related injuries in this coming World Cup? USA has some great courses. And Stephen Kelk is with us, says hello world. Welcome folks.
Oh, hello Stephen. Nice to hear from you.
So people are more interested in this than the IPL. Hard to believe, isn't it?
That it is. Funnily enough. Harris Ralph.
Harris Ralph time, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you got one.
Paris Ralph's bowling.
It's full and into the pads of Josh Butler. Bursts through the fielder, and they do get through for a single, which shouldn't have been a single.
No, poor ball, poor bit of fielding, but just the single. If Pakistan managed to get a fully firing Shaheen Afridi, Harris Ralph, and Mohammed Amir with his Wali Nas, who's 32 years old, as ever, Pakistan would be the dark horse for the
T20. Well, their bowling's never the problem, is it? So for me, with Pakistan, it's always about getting enough runs on the board consistently. Because if Babar and Rizwan failed, you know, someone else has to take the mantle. Every once in a while, someone does, and but not consistently enough for me. Will Jacks is smashing that from straight back over the bowler's head from Harris Ralph, and it just clears the boundary. 6 runs. The IPL had been in the stand.
Rather unusual sight of a Pakistani origin man in the crowd wearing a full-on Crusader uniform, which looks just a little bit incongruous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it does rather. Ben, do you want to check if there's anybody in the waiting room? Andy and Riley are due on next over.
Oh, Andy is in. That one is plopped into the outfield, and it's just about going to make it to the boundary. Not a particularly well-timed shot. Hoik. And just about enough on it, so it trickles into the boundary sponge. And 4 runs.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
Actually, I got that wrong. It just plugged again. It didn't kick on like the last one, but it kicked on enough.
Oof.
Just about crawled into the sponge.
I suppose it's backspin, isn't it? Which is...
It's probably the soft ground, to be fair.
Yeah. There's that as well. God, you've had a lot of rain.
Yeah, we've had quite a lot of rain. Not a lot of sun. It's not been particularly cold, but as I keep saying to you lot, it probably is cold at 20 degrees, but it feels quite pleasant for an Englishman. As that one's clipped around the corner, down to deep back with square leg for a single.
Oh, we're okay with 20 degrees in Melbourne. It's Messi who has to put a jumper on when it gets to 38. You know, he's different where he is.
It's 15.7 degrees here at the moment.
That's actually
Fucking
not bad.
freezing.
That's not freezing.
Yeah, but it's coming up to midnight, so...
Yeah. That might even be uncomfortable to sleep in.
Got down to 4 degrees the other night, so it does get quite cool.
Well, that's positive territory. That's a bonus. Butler is facing up, 14 off 12, and he whips that into the leg side, out towards deep mid-wicket. They'll get 1, they're going to come back for 2. They are not. And England move on to 40 for 1 after 4.5. Up run rate, that last over is up tipped by nearly 2 runs and over to 8.28. Harris Ralph, or this over, sorry, I should say. 1 ball left in it. It's gone for 13 with 1 ball to go.
Mog says he's shocked and horrified that someone remembered his Shazad jingle. Less shocking is that it took only my second message to refer to one of my own jingles.
Well, actually, I think it's a Perco jingle I've got. No, it must be yours, actually. That's mishit by Jacks. A big fat outside half of the bat, but again, he's just got enough on it, and there's no one in the outfield because it's power play. There's only 2 allowed out. You don't have to run someone down at third man that fine anyway. And so, it will be 4 to end the over, and that's a good over. England 17 off that.
I think we're having a little switch.
We are.
We're
indeed.
body short, actually.
No, we're not. He's in the waiting room, and I've just admitted him. 40, you're going to do some ball by ball. Andy is going to be wingman on the socials, and Riley.
We're up to date on socials, Andy.
Thanks, Jess. I've only got 1 tweet in the whole of Twitter from Diana Patterson's. Is that what you have?
Yeah, a lot more people are communicating via bloody YouTube these days, but hey.
That's fine, as long as I'm not missing a bunch.
No, right, and Riley's here. All right, Riley, been a while. How are you, mate?
I don't think he can hear us. In comes Mohammed Amir, and that's swished by Butler to deep square leg, where the man comes around, does a little bit of fielding. They come back for just the 2, and I think we're in and out with Riley. Hello, Andy. How are you going?
All good. Looking forward to the T20 World Cup.
Very much so.
Cricket.
Yes.
Quite a severe.
Can you hear us, Riley? You're supposed to be on.
I think Riley is having a few technical difficulties. We've all been there.
Sure. I mean, it's just only surprising it's not me, really.
Well, yeah, you're sounding quite good today.
Amir sees Butler coming, drops it a little bit short on the leg side. Butler adjusts and manages to just get it between 2 men on the leg side for a scampered single. He moves on to 18 off 15, the score to 47 for 1.
Well, I'll tell you why I think that is. My headset cord is really short, so I'm super close to the computer, so that probably helps.
It probably does.
You need to get. Well, I sent you a link. You need one with a little bar.
I am going to get one if I'm doing any time for the World Cup, but I'll probably be in the studio most of the time. I'm going to come.
How far away from the studio are you, Andy?
About an hour, but I got time. It's one thing I have.
Little wink. Mohammed Amir again sees Butler coming. Well, in this case, he shimmied towards square leg, and Amir followed him, so he just directs the ball out to a fairly deep mid-wicket for a single. And the score ticks over to 48 for 1. Having a look at Nasser Hussain and Uruj Mumtaz in the Sky Sports commentary.
A new one on me.
Yeah, yes. Always a bit nervous of saying a new one on me, because quite frequently everyone's a new one on me. In comes
I'm sure
Mohammed.
Nasser isn't.
Not Nasser, I'm fairly familiar with him. And that has to be a wide, surely. It's certainly one for the over. And although he backed away, it went over his left shoulder. Not called a wide? That surprises me.
Well, it's got to be over his head. He might be okay there. I mean, you never know. Well, no, it does look over his head. Presumably for these friendlies, they're not doing the whole side cameras. I mean, who knows?
Well,
are you all right there, Riley?
Yeah, I didn't have any audio coming through for whatever reason. I fix it now though. So.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, I'm out.
Good on you, mate.
You guys
Thank
are
you.
in.
Thanks very much, Bear. And that's a miscued, thick inside edge to kind of a deepish leg slip. And the score ticks over to 49. Jack's on 17. And Butler, I guess, has ticked over to 19. How are you going, Riley? You're all good there? Where are you in the country?
I'm in Bournemouth. In
okay.
sunny Bournemouth at the moment, when it wants to be. But yeah, doing okay after that technical issue. No idea. It was all fine before, and loaded in, and lost all audio. So that was fun.
That has happened. Last ball of Amir's second over, and it's been smeared for 4. Although that slightly underdoes the quality of the shots. Pretty good. And at the end of the 6th over. Jax has moved on to 21, and the score and that's England's 50 up, 53 for 1. And I'll chuck over to Andy in case anybody has joined us.
Well, the GPL is open until 3:15. Jackpot is 46 of your English pounds. Worth less by the minute, but they're still there. And over on YouTube, Parrot Badshaw says Mog, the Shazadin was his unparalleled favourite. Mog blushes. Stephen Kelt asks if Archer's elbow will survive to the end of this innings. Dr. Kieran Roseblade says they really should use something other than Pritt stick and sellotape to keep it together. I think he's right. I still will only believe it when I see it. I said we'd never see Jofra in an England shirt again, so could be proved wrong today.
We've definitely seen him in an England shirt. Whether he manages to get over.
You can see me in an England shirt if I go into the replica.
I think Riley's wearing an England shirt.
No, I've got a Durham shirt on.
Durham shirt, right? Okay. In comes Shadab Khan for his opening ball, and that's I think my feed slightly let me down there. Does one of you two guys want to describe that one?
Trickled into the rope, basically.
I scooped it over backward point somehow. This is quite a shot off the off spin.
Yeah. Was that a deliberate shot, in your opinion, or do you think he meant, or do you think it was a miscue? Hard to read that one.
I think he opened the face. Yeah, he opened the face.
Second ball from Shadab, and that's quite a nice late cut. There's a man specifically placed there for it, and so no run to Butler, who's going okay. 23 off 19. He won't be worried because Jax is 21 off 10 at the other end. So he's not quite at his best. Butler, I would say, he's not really finding the middle of the bat. And the middle of that one, all right, but it's gone straight to the sweeper on the offside. So he moves on to 24 and the score to 59.
He's not quite in a full Butler mode as he normally is. But
he often takes 20 balls just to...
Yeah, that's true. Get himself in.
The sun dapples the Edgbaston grass. Have a look. There's probably a bit of an even split between Pakistan and England contingent in the crowd. Obviously a big subcontinental origin franchise in the Midlands, particularly Birmingham. And that's played very nicely down to long off, but very nice shots. Don't get you too much reward in T20. That's just the single.
Well, when I was watching the first 5 overs on the TV, any sort of balls that beat the edge or half chances seem to be getting louder cheers than fours. So they might be equally split, but I think the Pakistan contingent are louder.
Yeah, almost certainly. And that is a wafty woof, which has gone to the deep mid wicket. And he didn't get hold of all of it, so he didn't manage to split the two fielders, and they've come back for 2. And Butler moves on to 26. Just having a look at Sam Curran, who's probably a little unfortunate, doing some analysis and commentary up in the Sky studio.
He left out today?
Yeah, Livingston is in today.
Okay.
And Butler has teed off. It's gone a long way in the air. I don't know whether it's gone all the way. Yes, it has. Not only has it gone all the way, it's gone about 20 rows back. That is a mighty shot.
He's well, there you go. He's got his 20 balls in, and now he's off.
Yep.
He is indeed. So
He's off now.
Oh, I
Yeah,
guess
that-
we're not doing. I guess we're not doing jingles. There's no one in the chair.
there's no one there. So imagine a 6 jingle at this stage. Butler moves on to 32.
Well, we also haven't got anything on social media just now. So, how do you guys rate England's World T20 chances? The attacking champions, of course.
I'd say they're not favourites. What do you reckon, Riley?
Yeah, I think it's quite a weird one. I think we're less favourites than we have been in the past. Especially obviously after the different format, but last World Cup as well. So, yeah, I would. I mean, it's probably the usual favourites in India and Australia, really. I would say ahead of England, but that's just my opinion anyway.
Imad Khan in again. A slight slingy action, nothing suspect about it, I hasten to add, and that's played down to long on by Jacks, who moves on to 23. And Andy, what do you reckon the prospects?
Yeah, it's quite similar. Put them in second or third with India or Australia. I mean, if you have to, you're asking me to call it now. I'd love to see what the Wickets do for a week, see how much spin they're taking.
Taking place in the USA and the Caribbean, that's right, isn't it? And that's on leg stump. And clipped nicely by Butler to the sweeper. He'll move on to 33.
If it is going to favour spin, I think that's going to play against England and probably favour India.
Yes, mate.
Certainly. Although India at World Cups recently haven't been great, I would say.
Butler, Jacks rather almost falls over trying to get as much as he can on that one, and hardly gets anything on it in the end, and drops his head in disappointment. It's a dot ball. Interesting groups that have been thrown up. Oh, good. So that kept low, and Jacks took about 3 yards back and completely missed it and fielded another dot ball.
By thrown up, you mean written down by someone who wanted India to play Pakistan and England to play Australia.
England have got the rather unlikely group of the old enemies, Scotland and Australia, Namibia and Oman.
Well, they can always make some new enemies. We're definitely capable.
That's defending back down the pitch. Jack's just getting a little bit bogged down here. Let's see if he can keep his head and not play a loose shot. 3 dot balls in T20s can often play havoc with a batsman's head. He's managed to get that one down to long off for a single, so he'll keep the strike. He moves on to 23 at the end of the 8th over England, 70 for 1. Andy, anything?
Well, Bear, now you're in the seat. George points out that the title on YouTube says ODI, not T20I. It also says Edgbaston. Now I've just noticed.
Yeah, all right. Okay, give him a minute to have a pot noodle or whatever Bear's having.
Just on the World Cup groups, I'm quite excited actually for England to play Namibia and Oman. I mean, it's. I think the World Cup, when it was the ODI one anyway, when it was reduced to 10 teams, I really hated that, to be honest.
I think everyone hated it except the people who count the money.
Yeah, it's very true. To be fair.
Shadab for beginning with second over. His first one went to 14, and the second over hasn't started any better because that's a good shot from Jacks, who's managed to thread it through the offside for 4 of these.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Proving expensive thus far. 18 off his first 7 balls. There's some. It's pretty obvious what who the top 2 groups from each group should be, but it's not to say it'll definitely be, of course.
Well, let me just bring those up and see what I think.
That's shoveled out by Jacks, I think, to a single, and that's the 50 partnership from just 31 balls. England 75 for 1, 3/4 of the way.
From memory, I think Namibia played quite well the last World Cup they were at, the ODI one, I think.
Reverse sweep
from
Butler, and that's gone all the way to the vacant third man area, which of course is kind of long leg when he reverse sweeps.
Well, I'd say the most interesting one I can see is Afghanistan, New Zealand and West Indies. They've been with Papua New Guinea and Uganda. They've also got Bangladesh, South Africa, and Sri Lanka. And
Yeah, so there's some jeopardy in groups 3 and 4. Groups 1 and 2 looks reasonably straightforward. That's played out by Butler on the offside. Just picks up he actually comes back for 2. Good bit of running there. England move along. Butler to 39. The score to 81 for 1.
although you might reassess that based on Bangladesh's performance in their warm-ups against the USA.
Yeah,
very true. Bangladesh not looking at their best for this tournament. And that's a straight break from Shadab Khan, and it's cuts.
Shot.
And will it go all the way?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Yes,
I think so, yeah.
Butler moves on to 43, score to 85 for 1.
2 + 2 is on number. 2 + 2 is on number.
I don't know where England are playing their games in this World Cup.
It's
that'll be
certainly the West Indies. They're in the West Indies part.
Okay.
See if I can pull that up as well.
Interesting how pictures in the US that do, actually. But
it's a big payday for some of those West Indies tourist destinations, no doubt. And that's cut very nicely. Eludes the man at the gully, but a bit of sweeping on the boundary there. So they come back for 2. Another expensive over, though, from Shadab at the end of the 9th. He's gone for 31 off his first 2. England 87 for 1 at the end of the 9th.
Certainly the opener is in Barbados, which rings a bell. I think at least some of the games are there. And we are up to date on social media. It's a quiet day today. Well, there's other stuff going on. Cup final, if you're a Mancunian, probably, maybe no one else cares.
Have they kicked off yet?
I don't know what time it kicks off, actually.
yeah, should have done. Kicked off at 3, so they would have been playing 8 minutes by now.
My team, Coventry City, should be in that final. Morally speaking.
Morally speaking, well, that was a tough one. Look at it this way. If it had been properly flagged offside, you wouldn't have had 20 seconds of joy.
We had 2.5 minutes of joy in it. But on the other hand, playing Man City in an FA Cup final...
Well, careful what you wish for. Ask Tony, who actually
exactly.
Although in the end...
Ball, exactly right. Top ball from Imad first up to Jax. I didn't actually think it was the worst result for us because we had a nice day out at Wembley. We should have won. Everyone loves us, and we only got smashed by Man City. Inside-out shot from Jax, manages to get it over the inner cordon, and that's gone all the way, in fact. Big shot.
Well, we'll be talking to Grubby tomorrow, who's Premier League big boys now, left us behind.
I know. I'm on a little subgroup with James and Grubby, and I feel like Private Ryan, who's been left on the beach or wherever he was left. Those two are in the Premiership now. That's smashed by Jax to the sweeper, straight to the sweeper, so it'll just be 1. So James is Forest and Grubby is Ipswich, for those who are unaware.
Well, there's still some of us will be left down there for a while.
Your
QPR. At least we're still in it, quite frankly.
Yeah, well, quite. Andy's QPR. Riley, do you have a football team?
I follow Bournemouth when I can.
Yeah.
And they did all right, to be honest, last season. So in the end,
they did do all right. And that's just gone single down to long off, and Butler moves on to 46.
Used to have all of a sudden, after getting themselves in, actually teed up a bit here.
They don't seem to. It's one of those innings where they don't seem to have done all that much, but we're on 96 for 1 after 10.
Run rate 9.8, perfectly satisfactory. There's another single. England move on to 96 for 1. And Butler's on 46. You look up, and your captain's on 46.
But that's exactly what he does. Odds 1 more ball, sorry.
Yes. And it's a dot ball on this occasion by Butler. So at the end of the 10th, halfway there, England 96 for 1.
Right, we're going to have a bit of a change. Jez is coming to come back and do your socials, and Will should be joining us for some summarising.
Thank you, Andy. I was just going to say we've got 4 minutes till the GPL closes. The pot is now $51. We've got 18 entries already. So
pounds,
4
surely.
minutes.
None of your
pounds. I beg your pardon. Thank you.
Well, Butler doing what he does. 24 off 20 has become 46 off 29. And England looking in pretty good shape. Can we find Will? If not, is anyone else prepared to pitch in?
Yeah, I can pitch in if required.
May have to, at least to start with, please.
Yeah, no problem at all.
It's the second T20 of this series, but in practice the first. Because the first one was tornadoed off on Wednesday. That was never going to happen in Leeds.
Oh, Jay Grover's joined us in spades. I'm pleased to say. He says
Spade?
afternoon at 4:30. I just read a very interesting book about Coventry FC, a sentence I never thought I'd type.
No.
Called Staying Up, about the 97-98 season by Rick Gakowski.
Gakowski. He's an American. Yes, I've read that book. It's got a very misleading title because it was the one season he chose. He thought he was going to be following a relegation battle because it was always a relegation battle. But he actually finished sort of halfway up and played very nice football.
Coventry City Staying Up, part 1 of 20.
Coventry, in their 34 years in the top flight, took it to the last day to avoid relegation 10 of those 34 seasons.
Wow. Yeah.
You're kidding. Oh, well, that's great stuff, really, isn't it? Jay also says the UK have a strong military presence in army, so we'll probably piss someone off. I think we killed some Germans in Namibia during World War II. Basically, every nation in the world is Britain's old enemy because we're interfering bothersome cunts. Governments.
That's not quite true. I think there is a list of countries that
like
England
7 countries we've never invaded. I
think it's 7. Yeah.
And
haven't been at war with Portugal for a very long time.
But when we did, though. I mean, most of those
the good old days.
The good old days. I mean, most of those 7 are probably new ones. Like we just haven't got around to South Sudan yet.
Yeah, I think it's places that are or were places that, if you know what I mean. So the territory of, but all the same, it's not a great record, is it?
Right. Well, Harris is going to come back and hopefully do a bit better than his first over, which went for 17. But he's got a tough task with a set Will Jacks and Joss Butler just starting to fire.
It's an interesting question, Messi. Have England actually ever been at war with Australia, for example?
Not to the best of my knowledge officially, but politically I've no doubt.
Effectively,
John Curtin and Winston Churchill didn't get on.
Oh, and it's a wicket. It's a wicket. Jacks carves that one straight to back point. He stepped away a little bit. It was a length ball arrowing into off stump. And he hit it cleanly enough, but unfortunately for him, fortunately for Harris Ralph and Pakistan, went straight to the fielder, and we're 96 for 2.
So get on your bike and take a hike right out of here. Your history, no good for me. Your history, nah.
Still, that's a decent one out for Jacks, Ian.
Yeah, I'd say it's a slightly betwixt and between. It's more good than bad, 37 off 22. And if everybody contributes 37 off 22 and they get in, you win the game. I will see her. I'll duck down.
See that one again. Just stepped away a little bit, Jackson. He'll feel a bit hard done by. He wasn't fully in control. But it did go. Fielder just had to jump up a little bit. Hello, Will. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. Looking forward to all the T20 cricket we're going to have in the next few weeks. Not forgetting the IPL final tomorrow, which I will be in the studio with the guys to cover. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
And speaking of IPL, a man who didn't have a particularly good one, Johnny Bairstow.
No, he's been struggling for form of late, hasn't he? I don't know whether he's sort of. I think it goes back to the Carey run-out thing. I don't know whether he's sort of come back from that.
There's much the injury. He did get 100 in the IPL. He blitzed 100 for the Sunrisers.
True.
Back on strike now. And there's a bit of a fish at that one. Half an appeal from behind the stumps, but no one's really interested. But his team managed to make the final without him.
Than the average Bairstow. Johnny Bairstow's been this good since take care. So all put on your wigs and let the crimson hair flow. I want the Pope to give him his own Lord's Prayer. Oh, he can hit the...
We've got two batsmen here who left the IPL early to come back for England duty. Oh, the wicketkeeper's a big lad, isn't he?
He sure is.
That one's onto the pads of Bairstow. He doesn't cash in. Oh, that's the worst appeal ever. Come on, that's going a mile down the leg side. But Harris Ralph is angry with someone, although it's not unusual. He really wants a review, I think. Looked like he was going miles down the leg side to me. Well, you don't get to decide, Harris, however many times you make the signal. But he has managed to cajole his captain into it. That didn't look too good to me.
Honestly, I think that's a huge waste.
We're going to get to see. Anyone else joined us on social media, Jess? Well,
we're joined by Satan by name, who just says afternoon, guys.
Afternoon, Satan.
Which is, it's not your normal conversation with the devil, but never mind. And Wham Fieri says, where is this being played? It's at Edgbaston, Birmingham, in the UK, which is sort of nice to be out of India for a while, to be honest.
Well, we're only in England for a few days, metaphorically speaking. And everyone will pack off to the USA and the Caribbean. I should think as soon as the series is over. Quite a few countries already out there, which makes a bit more sense to me, but the finger thing means money.
Yeah.
Jay says we only allied with Portugal to annoy Spain, and we bombed the shit out of their overseas possessions during the Spice Wars. Pepper spice, not June.
God, as I was right for once, that's even hit him in front of fourth stump going to the leg side, and it's only going further. So what Harris Ralph saw there, I don't know. He may need to work on his DRS skills before this coming World Cup. Going to come in again, wide of the stumps. It's short. Bairstow drops it down to point, and there'll be no run. England ticking along at 9 and over. Sorry, Will.
I was just going to say, I kind of don't see the how playing Edgbaston is going to help prepare you for the absolute dust ball that I'm assuming all of America is going to be. Because, I mean, they're dropping pitches from Adelaide, aren't they?
Yes.
England are going to be in the West Indies, though.
That is true. We're just going to have to wait and see with the pitches in both countries, whether they'll be typical West Indies pitches and exactly what these drop-ins will be like. Another one down the leg side from Ralph. Bairstow shovels it around to make very good contact and only get a single. I'm going to hold fire and just see what they do. I mean, the fact that they're from Adelaide, I don't know if that means they'll play like Adelaide.
Be interesting.
Yeah, I'm just fascinated by it. Have they finished the stadium in New York yet?
Absolutely. It looks very impressive, to be honest. I suppose if you spend $30 million, it should.
Well, I hope they're going to be able to use it for something else when it's finished. It's played out to cover for no run. That's the end of the over, 97 for 2 off 11.
I think it's designed as a temporary stadium. And I was reading about it earlier this year. So part of the contract with the ICC is they've got to take it down afterwards and make the park back to what it was.
Yeah. A whole lot of the stands have been brought up from Las Vegas where they used for the Grand Prix last year.
So it's just a roving stadium, basically. We've gone to the next one. Well, it makes more sense than just having it, gathering dust for 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make it the sort of most expensive flat pack in the world?
Maybe, but they reckon they're going to more than cover their costs with the corporate boxes and stuff.
Take a few IKEA screwdrivers to put that one up.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Shadab's going to continue. He has not had a good start, 2 overs for 31, but Harris Ralph was able to pull it back, so let's see if Shadab can as well. On middle stump, the batsman backs away, plays it down to point, and there's no run. That's Bairstow still trying to find his way. Bairstow will be happy this fella's wicket keeping. He makes him look thin.
Yeah.
He's sort of halfway between Samit Patel and Dwayne Leverock, isn't he?
Yeah, so Rakeem Cornwall. That one is punched out to deep cover point, and they'll get a single. I shouldn't keep calling it him. Let's see if we can give this gentleman a name. Certainly one I haven't seen before because I would have noticed him.
That's Azam Khan, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
I love too short, but he's going to get away with it again. I think it's pulled down to long leg. They may get back for two. No, Butler and Bairstow aren't as quick as they once were. That's just a single.
I kind of love that there are some sort of chunkier gentlemen in the sort of international game these days. It makes you sort of think, oh, maybe I could do it. And then you think about it and go, nah.
Really horrible piece of cricket all round. There's another short ball, but it seemed to stick in the pitch a little bit. Bairstow was too early on the shot. He got a bottom edge down to short fine leg and no run again, so he's swinging like a bit of a rusty gate again, Bairstow. 2 off 7.
Azam Khan doesn't have a stellar T20 record. He's played 11. He's taken 4 catches. He averages 11 at the strike rate of 154, which is...
Well, 154 is not bad. Rate. Yeah, one bounce out to deep mid wickets, but it'll only be a single for Bairstow. And like Harris Ralph, Shadab Khan has pulled this back, just 3 off this over so far. Well, Josh Butler hasn't had a lot of the strike since Bairstow came in, and that can disrupt a batsman's flow sometimes. He's got 1 ball now. England 100 up, 100 for 2 in the 12th over, which is a reasonable platform. Turns away and Butler cuts down to deep point. He will get that single and get back on strike for the next over. It's the end of the over, 101 for 2.
Mayank's joined us. He says, great to see you're all back covering proper cricket. Other people may not regard it as proper cricket. United holding off City at Wembley and England off to a flying start. So yeah, Manchester will win and Manchester will lose is the headline for today. Brett Ueva is also with us. Afternoon, you fabulous bunch of humans. Fantastic to have you back. But missed the start. How's it been? England have been pretty solid. The Pakistan bowling has been less than stellar, I'd suggest, and there's a certain rustiness in my view, but I think they're getting it out of their system before the World Cup is the intent.
Well, that's the purpose. Butler faces up to a Yorker from Harris Raff, who can only dig it out to cover. Butler 48 off 33.
I think that there's an element of I don't know. I think Edgbaston's a sort of a good ground to kind of work out the kinks, because it's quite a sort of there's something in that pitch for everyone.
Yeah.
Although, my God, the boundaries are huge.
Butler's gone for the scoop and he's played it very well. It was homing in on middle and off stump. Butler doesn't care. He gets underneath that enough to drop it over a very, very, very fine leg for 6.
50, 50, 50, pretty nifty on a bowler's pitch.
Very full, and he managed to just get underneath it. But at that pace, that was all he needed.
That was a beautiful shot.
And he does
not
indeed
bad,
go
Butler.
he goes to 54 off 34. But a scratchy IPL, a couple of very good innings. A couple not so good. That's a length ball, which is rather smeared into the leg side. Long on his round. Again, I think they might have got 2 back in the day. Time is unbeaten.
I think it's interesting because sort of from at the beginning of the innings, I thought that sort of it looked like Butler was playing the sort of more anchoring knock, and yet he's on 54 already. It just sort of, I know he's slowed down a bit, but he still can really, really score if he wants to.
Yeah.
Well, it's that template of his innings. He was on 24 off 20. He's hit 31 of the last 15. That's an ugly shot, though. It may well be safe. It is. It just went absolutely nowhere behind square leg. It was Bairstow, in fact, who went for some kind of sweep. And as much as Butler's looking in good touch, Bairstow is not. That was horrible. He seems to be just shoveling his arms like a T-Rex instead of really letting them go through the ball. Maybe he's breaking his wrists too early. That might be more of it, looking at that replay.
It's honestly like he's forgotten he's got joints.
Well, even when he scored that 100 in the IPL, he was kind of batting like that.
Yeah.
Butler drops that one in front of point. I tuned in when he was on about 80, and the ball was going everywhere, but it was all short arm jabs, and his wrists were breaking early, and it didn't look pretty at all. Not that Bairstow ever really does.
I was going to say, when does Bairstow ever look pretty?
I think he's going to be struggling to hold his place in the England team, to be honest.
Possibly. I'm not sure who comes in. Well, Duckett, if it's spinning. Or maybe they play an extra bowler. They've got Brooke and Livingston in there today.
You bring Karen back in.
Yeah, but do you do that for a batsman or a bowler? Yeah, and again, it's a full toss. Halfway up off stump, which again Bairstow just chunks down to cover, and it's one of those innings where he's looking worse and worse as it goes on, but he's still there and can turn it round. 110 for 2 off 13.
Kieran says, what is Bairstow doing? Fuck all as usual. He needs to get out of Butler's way, but we'll probably run him out instead. I'm Kieran, you're such a cynic. Never been a great lover of Bairstow, have you? But then again, nor have I. And I think we're up to date on Twitter. Oh no, Twitter's... Ajit's joined us. Armchair Cricket Podcast says, great to have Guerrilla Cricket covering England versus Pakistan in my ears as I attempt gardening cleanup. A good chance for Jimmy Bairstow to rediscover his touch. Well, he's certainly in need of that at the moment.
Butler's on strike. That's short, and has he put that in the gap? Not quite, but it's not a good piece of fielding, but he's sort of managed to inadvertently play it to his mate there, the fielder. He bounced off him, luckily for him, not into the sponge, and 10 yards to his mate, who was doubling up and covering well, so they did keep that down to 2 in the end.
I think
the ball just straight off his knee.
That's gotta hurt.
Now Butler reverse sweeps that one over backward point. Extraordinary shot. I was just thinking, wait a minute, there's a left-hander in. But no, it's Butler doing Butler things. 6 runs.
I don't know how he gets the power on a reverse sweep to get it that far, because that boundary is not short at all. Have you actually stood in the middle of Edgbaston? It's huge. I couldn't...
Yeah.
No, these are not IPL boundaries. Be another thing in the West Indies, how long those boundaries are going to be. He's gone for it again. He hasn't got it clean that time. It goes into the ground and out to a freebie at backward point, and will just be a single.
He and Maxwell are the only ones I can see playing that shot.
Yeah, what kind of boundaries are we going to get in the World Cup? 60 metres or 80?
Yeah, hopefully the 80.
Well, probably something in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those things with particularly with
Bairstow's finally got hold of one. It goes over mid-wicket, 5 yards over the fielder, plugs in the ground, over the boundary for 6.
One talk over the line, sweet Jesus, one talk over the line.
Well, I probably shouldn't criticise a 6, but it seems more muscle than timing.
That's Johnny, though.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Again, that's more in keeping with his innings. I think he took his eye off that one. Really just got a bottom edge out to deep square. It'll be a single. But 2 sixes off this over and 16 runs so far with 1 ball to go. England accelerating, trying to get towards 200. Where they would have hoped to be from 96 for 1 off 10, but Pakistan just managed 3 fairly tight overs. That one is pulled by Butler. He's got that one in the gap, and there's no way the fielders are cutting that one off at forward square leg. So that's an expensive over, 20 off it.
Jay says, as a middle-aged man teetering on the overweight, I fear the practical application of my chunkiness versus Bairstow's would be cruelly exposed were we to have an arm wrestle. We might weigh about the same, but I am all belly, not biceps. I can relate very much to that, Jay. Kieran says Bairstow only ever scores hundreds to save his place from the team, then plays shit for another year. Then in his last match, last innings, last chance, he gets another 100 and we start all over again. His batting wasn't good enough, so he decides he's a wicketkeeper instead. Then everyone realises he's shit wicketkeeper. Then he decides he's a batter again. He is neither, just a decent club cricketer. I think that's a little unfair. I used to think he was dreadful and wouldn't have had him in the test team, but the year before last, he scored, 400s in 5 tests or something like that? So he certainly has got it on occasion.
Well, at least give him credit. He does. That's exactly what he does in all formats. So he's at least versatile.
Yeah.
Afridi's going to come back. 2 overs for 21 so far. No swing for him there. Started it wide outside off stump, but it was just on the line. So it's a good ball to dot. Bairstow's too far away from it.
And I think in all formats as well, he should never be allowed anywhere near a pair of wicket-keeping gloves ever again. I don't understand it. I don't think he's ever been any good.
Yeah.
And let's face it, England have got a generation of sort of 3 or 4 of the best wicket keepers we've ever had at the moment.
Plus, perfectly capable white ball batsmen wicket keepers like Salt and Butler.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Shaheen's in again. Bairstow lines that one up. He goes, not over extra cover, but there's no one there. It's a 1 bounce 4.
I was thinking about this last night actually. If Sam Billings had been sort of either 10 years older or younger, I think he would have probably got a hell of a lot more England caps than he actually has, because I don't see him getting into the England side at this point at all. But I think if he'd been sort of playing in the
horrible full toss, and even Bairstow can shovel that over a long leg for 6. It wasn't just a knee-high full toss, it was on leg stump. That's not good. Yeah, their bowlers obviously a little bit rusty as well. Obviously they don't get a go in the Indian Premier League because racism possibly doesn't help them. And Afridi kicks the turf, but he's not bowling a very good over here. Comes again. It goes slower. Bairstow set himself and has got something on it, and it's gone through the wicketkeeper, which you wouldn't think was possible with so much of him. It's another 4. Is that off the bat?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hit from Bairstow's thigh, and really a pretty ugly piece of wicket keeping. He's dived over it from what I can see.
It's a big thud when he does that.
Yep, making the earth shake. Was 4 leg buys. Freedy's in again. Short. I thought that was out for a second. Bairstow flashed at it outside off stump. Into the wicket-keeper's gloves, but he did not make contact. And despite unloading a couple of shots, he's still 21 off 17, Bairstow, which isn't great at this stage of the innings. And a lot of people, perhaps, hoping to see Harry Brook for the first time in a long time. He's carded to bat next. In the meantime, Shaheen is going to continue. And Bairstow gets hold of that straight to deep square leg, and that rather tortuous innings does come to an end. We will see Harry Brook, unless they change the order, bring Livingston in. And Bairstow's gone for a rather unimpressive 21 off 18.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
Well, everybody except Bairstow. We're going to have a change. We should be seeing Riley and Forty come back to join Bear in the studio.
That is the case. We shall see you all later. And hello to Riley and hello to Forty.
Hello,
you
how are we?
Well, I'm good, and that's all right, isn't it? 144 for 3, 5 to go. Should get 200.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully, especially the way Butler's going. And God knows, hopefully Livingston tees off as well. So England got plenty of batting to come.
And it's a slightly pointless series, so you want batsmen to have a shot in the middle. You know, I mean, well, India's problem in the last World Cup was they batted so well up until the final that most of their batsmen had a good go when they needed to. They were found wanting.
Yeah, very true. Which is exactly what happened in the previous World Cup as well. Funnily enough.
Imad Wasim back against the attack. And it's driven down driven just for one out to Babar Azam, who I think is Pakistan captain. They seem to go through so many.
He's back as Pakistan captain. They sacked him for a while.
And he's back.
But he's basically their best cricketer, so he has to be captain.
And England have a new man in, Harry Brook.
Oh, yes. And good to see him back. And he's got a jingle that goes like this.
Flips this one away for one, down the grounds. Was it one? It is, yes, just the single. And it's 1-0 Manchester United apparently.
Oh.
Alejandro Garnacho.
Well, there you go. Wouldn't that be funny if they beat City? As a Liverpool supporter, I find the whole scenario on both sides really annoying.
Butler goes for a quick single, gets through, and just the one.
I mean, I don't like the idea of City doing a double-double. It's really fucking irritating. However, United, I cannot stand. And it would be funny to see them lose again.
City are just boring, though, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's getting very boring. Well, when are they going to fucking take them to court, goddammit?
Exactly. Imad comes in, and Brook is bowled. Brook is bowled, stepping away, looking to just push it out and the outside, and Brook is gone. Well, there's his time in the middle.
Yeah. What? Not even a short time was a good time, whatever the saying is.
Oh well, you get days like that.
Scraping away was Harry Brook, and he just missed it really. I don't think it did anything really, but there he goes. Harry Brook after a time out. He's back in the side, and he's now back in the pavilion for just one.
Just quickly on Man United, I mean, it's hilarious, of course, that last 10 years after having experienced the previous 20 years. With Man City, a little bit like if you used to watch snooker in the 80s, a bit like watching Stephen Davis or Stephen Hendry. Better than everyone else, clearly, but did not set the pulse racing.
Yes.
And I just think, well, it's up to other people to beat them. They're technically excellent.
Oh, no, I don't think they're boring in that sense. I think they play very good football and they're a very good team to watch. It's just that you kind of feel, you get more and more of a feeling of all these cases lined up against them and this financial fair play shit, and everything's happening to, Everton and Forest got docked points for what were really minor infractions, 2 or 3 man infractions, and they've got 116 against them. It's just like,
yeah. But
meanwhile, the Qatari state or whatever it is investing something like 110 billion in infrastructure in the UK. I mean, it all sounds a bit conspiracy theory maybe, but dodgy as fuck to me.
England have a new man in, and it is not Liam Livingstone but Moeen Ali, who just pushes this ball from Imad Wasim out and gets a single. But Man United have just made it 2-0.
Oh my word!
Wow!
What a goal for Kobe Mainu as well.
Kobe Mainu.
He might well find himself with an England shirt on his back coming up in the Euros.
Might do. Shall I give you a bit of Moeen's jingle?
Our beard shouldn't touch. Move over, Amlo. I like it.
You can speak over the top of it.
And this last ball from Imad Wasim is just clipped out to the man coming in on the boundary, and it is just a single. So a very tight over from Imad Wasim and a very good over from Pakistan's point of view. a wicket and just, I think, 5 runs off that over. So he's done his job.
We have got, I don't know, did we get Armchair Cricket Podcasts tweet in? Great to have Guerrilla Cricket in my ears as I attempt gardening. And a good chance,
I don't know.
Good chance for Johnny Bairstow to rediscover his touch. As you can tell, it's from a little while ago. And we do have a more recent one from Jay Grover, Yorkshire. Oh, we're still utter toss, nay mind.
Do we have Mike's on YouTube? Shall I do it? Because he's...
Oh yeah, you do it. I haven't got YouTube up.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, we were talking about the World Cup. He's got tickets to all the New York City games except South Africa and Sri Lanka, and India and Ireland. There's no shade since all the stands are like the Old Trafford temporary stand. Not expecting a good experience, to be honest. Ah, right. Okay, so it's
Mohammed Amir. Butler just drives this one out to the man on the boundary and will likely just take a single. Moeen Ali ducking underneath what looked like somewhat of a wild throw from the deep there, but there you are.
I wonder about Mo. His powers are waning.
Yeah, maybe this. I mean, he's been bumped up the order slightly here.
Well, it might be one World Cup too far. I don't know. I love him dearly. I kind of feel he's not consistent enough anymore.
This will surely be his last World Cup, obviously.
You'd have thought so. We're certainly not going to play another one-day one.
No.
Local hero.
Yeah?
Oh yes, of course. As Amir comes in and Ali just pushes this one out, and again the fielder comes in from the boundary. It is Imad Wasim and just takes a single. So Pakistan's just keeping this relatively tight in the last couple of 8 balls or so since that string of wickets of Bairstow and Harry Brook. Surprised not to see Liam Livingston out, to be honest, but
maybe they want a right left hand combination
whilst
they can.
So, yeah, that's true.
Try and get some bad balls out of the bowler.
Yeah, in again, and Butler just, it's a good, well executed delivery from Amir, and Butler can't really get it anywhere, and it's straight to Shaheen Afridi, and there is no run. So tight bowling from Pakistan continues.
Yeah, well, we've got 21 balls left. To a ball, 40, hopefully, around about there. 190. I think that'd be a reasonably challenging score. Down a track.
Butler charges him, pulls him away, but again, nothing to the boundary. It is fielded by Bakar Zaman out on the boundary. And we'll take 2. I actually remember when the last boundary was, to be honest, as we see a replay of that shot. There's a bit of a charge from Butler.
They need to get on with it.
75 from 46 deliveries so far, Josh Butler. He'll of course be eyeing another T20 century. Samir comes in, Butler pulls this one away this time, and he's got this one a lot better, and that goes for 4.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
Lovely, well executed shot from Josh Butler, and that's, well, relieving a little bit of pressure. We're just beginning to build. Pakistan have done quite well.
It does feel a bit odd watching international T20 when you just watch the IPL. There's a lot less boundaries. It's a lot more tactical.
Yeah,
it seems.
The IPL bored me, to be honest. It really did. As Amir comes in for his final ball, it's short. Butler goes down the track again. And I think he was looking for a wide there.
I think he was as well, but he hasn't got it.
He didn't get it.
Yeah, it's also the same, isn't it, in the IPL?
Again, I always seem to think, I mean, an obvious point is that it's too long, but I mean, I seem to be excited by the start of it, and then sort of just the middle stages of it. Again, why they play so much. So
the boring middle IPL.
Yeah.
Yes.
Quick tweet from Jay. Everton and Forest made the rookie mistake of being honest and transparent. One must brazen out one's crimes with arrogance and audacity. People will see you as wrong. He also says, why the piss is Maheen still playing? I don't know about that. I mean, there are plenty of teams out there, a team like Villa come to mind, who didn't overspend their allocation deliberately so, and Everton Forest did. So I don't think we should hold them up as,
No.
paragon of honesty and transparency, just because I agree with you about the Man City point now. That two rights don't make a wrong, or two wrongs don't make a right.
Two wrongs don't make a right, Forty.
Harris Ralph returning, and his first ball is just driven by mowing out to the fielder. I believe it was Mohammed Rizwan. There was no run. He sort of recovered from his, I think his first level went for 17, was it? Or something like that, Harris Ralph?
Yes, so did Shadav Khan's, I think.
So he's recovered well, 1 for 27 his figures into his final over. He comes in again, and Ali pulls this one. But again, not to the boundary. He's just fielded by the man out for just a single. And all of a sudden the runs just seem to be drying up ever so slightly.
Well, you say that, but the run rate's still 9.12. It's not bad.
No.
I mean, it gets you 180, mid 180s.
Not entirely sure what a good score would be, really. 200, but
I mean, you look at the size of that outfield, and you look at the ones in India. You think, it's a different game.
Yeah, that's very true. Ralph in again. Butler goes for the scoop and does not really connect with it well at all, and it ends up just flicking out into the offside, and they take a single. Did not get that one at all, Butler, who normally just executes that shot with relative ease, but Ralph, I mean, he just didn't connect with it at all, did Butler? I think he was slightly shorter than he was expecting, perhaps.
Yeah, I think he put a bit of cut on it as well to take the pace off a bit. Pace off at the moment seems to be, is often a good way to go.
Harris Ralph in again to Moeen, who just drives this one away, but again it's straight to the fielder on the boundary, and they'll just take a single. So Moeen's again not really firing, but he's only been in for a total of 5 balls. He's 4 off 5, so it's probably going to be down to Butler, but of course we know Moeen has the ability to go big.
Yeah, if he hits a 6-4-4 and then gets out, he'd have done his job.
Pretty much. There's Ralph again. Into Butler, who gets this one down the ground over the top of the fielder, and it will go away for 4 runs.
Oh. Stupid machine.
1, 3, football.
Proper shot from Josh Butler, just hitting it over the top of the field. 1 bounce 4. That's what he can do. And we'll be hoping for a few more of those as England look to try to push towards 190 if possible. This will be Harris Ralph's final ball into Josh Butler. Butler goes again. This one, he didn't connect with it very well. The fielder comes in. It's a good catch. And that will bring an end to a very good innings from Josh Butler, but it's not what England needed, really.
No. Good bowling. I think, again, he took a little bit of pace off it, didn't he? And he got all out of shape, Josh. And scooped it up. Big boundaries. Man came in from long on. And that was a bit of one of these. Top edge, for fuck's sake. Oh no, he's out. Excellent. Top edge, for fuck's sake. Oh no, he's out. Excellent. Top edge, for fuck's sake. Oh no, he's out. Excellent. Yep.
It looks like we will see Liam Livingston perhaps.
Yeah, well, every time we say that, he does fuck all whenever I watch him. So don't expect too much, is what I would say. Let's have a jingle for him.
I am Liam Livingston, I play for the Lightning. My one-day kit is blue, but for the tests it's white.
Good innings from Butler, but he falls 16 runs short of another T20 100. And
yeah, it was a good bit of bowling, wasn't it? He just took the pace off with the off cutter. I mean, it's the classic late period bit of bowling, but no particular surprise, but too good even for Butler.
Is Shaheen Afridi back into the attack again? I think for his final over. On strike to Moeen Ali, and his first ball is just dug out by Moeen, back to the bowler for no run. So 11 balls left. Where I got 15 from.
We did have one YouTube comment, George McPherson, saying England need to learn not to rely on one batsman to get big runs. If they play like this in the World Cup, then they won't be able to retain the trophy.
Certainly, definitely, for sure. Can't rely on Joss Butler all the time. And this next ball from Shaheen Afridi is a rank delivery down leg side, which is collected by the keeper, and it is a wide. No, he missed out there, really.
Wide. I kind of disagree, though. I mean, you can't rely on one man, but one man a game to get a big score is what gets you will get you a big score in a T20.
Depends how big, doesn't it? If they get.
I said that could be out. It is out. Yeah. I thought Mo might have got that, but Shaheen has struck, and Moeen Ali will not be contributing his usual 6-6-4. It's just out.
Now it's all subsiding horribly, which I think there'll be more of.
How's that? You messed about, I caught you out. How's that?
That's what I mean. That's the nice thing about bigger outfields. Those miss hits don't actually go for 6. They are actually out, and deservedly so.
It's also the problem with batting first in a T20. You just don't know. If you're chasing, you might well not play that shot.
Yeah, but I think actually, run rates of 9 and 10 are actually pretty reasonable in a T20, actually, on proper sized fields, etc., etc. We've seen run rates of 11 and 12 in the IPL. I think that's normal, but I don't think that is normal. And actually 9 and 10, somewhere between 180 and 200, pretty much in an international T20.
Yeah,
are generally pretty competitive scores. You don't need 220, 230 to sort of feel like you're on the game,
No, I mean 11, 12 and over is silly, really, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean every once in a while, true, good pitch, etc., etc., but not as the norm.
No. And England's new man is Chris Jordan, who is at the middle, and his first ball from Afridi, he's just tucked away into the leg side, and he'll just take a single to get Liam Livingstone. Yeah, Liam Livingstone on strike. I haven't seen him, but no.
I thought Chris Jordan was out in the sort of. Is he in the squad?
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah, but it's the same squad for the. Well, this is technically the provisional. I think I'm not sure if they're going to be altering it at all, but yeah, I thought he was a bit of a weird inclusion, to be honest, though, because his skills, I think, have waned slightly. But there you are. As Shaheen comes in for Liam Livingstone's first ball, and it's shortly pulled it away, and it's fielded by the man on the boundary for just a single.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they'd have kind of moved away from him, but maybe they give him one more go. I mean, I do think when he's good in a T20, he's good, but it's 60-40 that he's actually quite bad. But pace goes, and I mean, we've seen it again in the IPL. Look at Mitchell Stark. I think he's a great bowler, and usually quite good at T20, but he's had a pretty poor IPL, although he had a good qualifier.
Shaheen comes into Jordan. Jordan just pulls this one away out into the. And it's collected. They'll come back for 2. Ooh, it's good running in the end. They'll come back for 2, and England will need a bit more of that, really. 169 for 6 with a ball left in this over, and then of course the final over, which I'm not sure. I think it's probably going to be bowled by Mohammed Amir. We see, no, he was comfortably home in the end. Jordan. To be fair, he is a useful batting option. He can contribute.
He can certainly hit a long ball.
Yes, definitely. Obviously, an excellent fielder as well. So, to be fair, he's got a lot to his game, Jordan. It's just like you say, he can be, when he's off it, he's not great. as Shashin comes in for his final ball, and this one's straight up in the air, completely miscued by Jordan, and it is out and slammed into the ground by, I believe that's Babar Azam, the Pakistan captain, and Chris Jordan's gone.
Oh dear, oh dear. It's all falling apart. It's all falling apart. God damn it.
I won't look back, 'cause by the time that I do, you'll be gone.
Straight up in the air, and easily pouched in the end. And it's all falling apart at the moment. Unless Livingston can create some final over magic, England might be a bit short here, but we'll see.
On the plus side, we've got a super chat, which is nice. £2 from Hattie the Batty 2486, just saying, hey you, thanks so much, Hattie the Batty. Pay you back.
Thank you very much. So
here he is.
Yes, bloody hell. We've been waiting for this moment for a very long time.
Joffre
break your helmet, break your heart. Hotter than lava, cooler than Bogart. In your face, at your stumps, on your toes, on your mum. Joffre.
Too long, Joffre. It has been too long, and hopefully we'll be able to see some magic in the second innings from him with the ball. But currently he's not on strike. It is of course Livingston, who just drives this one down the ground. Not really a drive, but he didn't get hold of it at all, and he'll just pick up the single. So we will see Joffre Archer on the strike, who of course can hit a big ball as well.
Yeah, he can hit a long ball, yeah. Well, we haven't seen him for a while. I wonder how long he's been back, and it wouldn't surprise me if he was out first ball. But we shall see. Give it some Auntie Joffre. It's good to see him back in the side. Crikey. Just hope he doesn't break down again.
2 years without an appearance, I think it has been.
Didn't he had a sort of 3 games, didn't he, early last year? I don't think it's as long as you think. I think they thought they had him back, and then he was injured again straight away.
But here he is. Here's his first ball, and it's gone. Well, has it gone straight off the air? Might have gone all the way. In fact, it has.
Oh, great shot!
Gone all the way. One bounce, 4.
I don't think that's where he meant it to go, but you know.
No.
4 on the floor, and one more 4 than the 4 before. That's what 4s are for. To get funky on the dance floor.
It was more of a slice, wasn't it? I think he's trying to pull it, but it wasn't there for that. It's in no shape to pull.
But
it was late on it.
It was a bit like one of those tennis players who've gone about 6 feet behind the baseline, and just swatted it, and it ends up just landing inside the court at the other end.
That's a perfect description of it. That was a proper swat, that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Amir comes in again. He digs out a Yorker from Amir, and he might look for 2 here, and he'll come back for 2. So some decent batting here from Archer, to be honest.
Again, this is the other thing. This game is slightly different from the IPL. You see, loads more 2s. Generally, anything in the outfield in the IPL is a 1. You can't get back for 2. It's very hard. But there's been a lot of 2s, maybe even a couple of 3s in this game. Which is certainly, I think I've seen 1 in all the games I've watched.
Amir into Archer, 3 balls left, and that is massive. That is massive from Archer, and that is 6.
Launched over mid-on, stood and delivered baseball style. It's one of these. Announcing himself back on the international stage. That's a great shot.
Straight back over the bowler's head, and well, there's your return to international cricket. Joffre Archer.
Yeah, that was it kind of was right in the arc though, wasn't it? I mean, it was kind of a length ball. He's a tall lad, so he just stood back, swung through the arc, got hold of it.
England out to 182 for 7, 2 balls left. One more of those, they'll be very happy. And Archer goes for the scoop, completely misses it. I think it bounces off his pad and rolls out into the. Picked up by a fielder, and did they come through in the end? They did.
Leg by?
It's
got to be a leg by, yeah, it was a leg by.
So, in fact, he's done quite well there because he's got Livingston on strike for the final ball.
Yeah, but he's going on at 12. Yeah, he's got a strike rate of 300.
Strike rate of 400 after 4 balls.
Yeah.
He was nowhere near the attempted scoop, but I mean, a final ball in, and it is a excellent Yorker from Mohamed Amir, which is dug out by Livingston and straight back to the bowler for no run. So England then on 183 for 7 in the end. Not bad, but probably a bit short of where they.
Well, it's difficult to know. I think a pretty competitive score. I think. I hope anyway.
Yes. I'd say probably a Brexiteer 48-52 in favour of Pakistan at this stage.
I think that's quite a score to be able to defend.
Yeah, you put it more 60-40 England.
Well, yeah, maybe even closer than that. I don't know. I've just been watching so much of the dreaded IPL that I don't know what a good score is on a fairer surface is, you know. But it feels like that seems like a reasonably good score.
Yeah, I would say England. I put in 55-45. Just
right.
See that late flourish, I think, from Archer has given them a bit of momentum to carry in. But it obviously will be interesting to see how, firstly, England and of course Archer goes with the ball, because we don't know how Archer's going to go. And obviously England have got, well, they've got quite a few. I think they've got 4 spinners in their 11 actually, if you count Will Jacks as that. But there's your scorecard: 183 for 7. Joss Buttler propping up that score probably, well, definitely with 84. Will Jacks 37, and then a few cameos from, well, Salt at the top of the order, Archer at the bottom, and then I'm not really sure what Bairstow's innings was, to be honest.
No, it was a bit laboured.
But 21 from 18 is still 21 from 18. And pick of the bowlers, Imad Wasim, 2 for 19. Harris Ralph picked up 2. Shaheen Afridi, 3 for 36. They're probably slightly expensive. The more expensive one, Shanab Khan, none for 55 off his 4 overs. I mean, that's, well, IPL figures, that, isn't it?
That is ugly. That will be what loses them game, if I'm honest, if it does lose them the game.
The other refreshing thing is this innings has been done in an hour and a half.
Very nice, yes.
Yeah, I noticed that they had the, I don't know if it was like shot clocks or the timers around the ground that were going.
Oh, are they playing that international rules now?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I think it was brought in, ironically, via the because the 100 had it, didn't it? And
yes.
They wanted to adopt that, which, to be fair, I think it's a very good thing, because, like you say, we got through the 20 overs in
an hour and a half, which is what they should do.
Yes, exactly.
And they should have 10. I mean, these games should be just over 3 hours long.
Yeah.
In theory, on the IPL they're often 4 hours, 4 hours 20, which is fucking actually quite annoying when you think it's only 40 overs.
Yeah, they've got to get a new ball every 2 balls and send it to the stratosphere, I suppose.
And then you have your timeouts and all the rest of it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the timeouts.
And they brought in the replay system to make it quicker, but the replay system is still shockingly slow. That's just for fuck's sake. Anything to get an ad sale. Anyway, we shall take a little break. After the break, it will be me, the man 40, and Messers. That's it for the day for you, isn't it, Riley? You're off now.
Yeah,
go and do studenty things and party. Yeah. Good lad. It's Saturday.
But yeah, enjoy the rest of the cricket, and yeah, that's it from me. And
thanks, Riley. Great stuff.
We'll see you
guys
whenever in the summer, I'm sure. Soon. Okay. We'll play some podcasty stuff over the break. Here you go.
You might snip that bit out, Lawrence, and play it to a certain Mr. Dutter.
Yeah.
Who incidentally is a lovely man and a fantastic author in his own right.
Yeah, exactly.
Wrote the history of Indian spin bowling, amongst other things.
He's been
and
very
it's a fantastic read if you get a chance to read it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put in a word for an Indo, but he'd be sorry if I didn't raise his name. Chatting to you.
I should have a chat with him. Probably.
I mean, there's also I'm sure he'd love that. There's other sort of fascinating things that we came across just before we sort of start to ring the last orders bell. You do one thing. There's one that on the this does sound a bit like the ultimate nerdy one. The LBW law since 1774, but it's quite interesting how it has changed. I think you used Phil Tufnell as one of the cases in point. And I thought, this does sound like, if anything's bordering on the nerdy, here we go. But in actual fact, it wasn't. It was an interesting read about how it's. What sort of made you think, that's an interesting time to tackle that one?
Well, it was an anniversary. It's 250 years since the
Of course,
LBW.
yeah, 70s. Yeah.
So that was the idea. And Rob Smythe wrote the piece. Rob's a great writer, very talented, and he went off on lots of fun tangents. I mean, the piece kind of mushroomed from its original word length. He had so many stories to tell. And he leads with Tufnell trying to ring an LBW from over the wicket in the West Indies in the 90s, in the days before they gave batsmen out on the front foot, padding it away. And he talks about LBW as this kind of morality tale down the years and its development. It's good fun. There are so many stories.
Yeah, it is. I enjoyed it. I mean, there's some other great ones in there, which are sort of quite diversionary. Some of them, Wisden and Desert Island Discs. I mean, to a man of my age, I thought, fuck, this is going to be great. It was really interesting. I'll get back to. I do remember Roy Plumlee, God help me. But that was absolutely fascinating, really.
Yeah, last year Peter White, is a blind broadcaster, was on Desert Island Discs, and he picked out I think it was a 62 or the 63 Wisden, because he wanted to read about Hampshire's championship win the previous summer. And so that got us thinking, how many times has Wisden featured as the book that people choose on the island? And he was something like the 14th. So we just did a little piece going through Gary Lineker was one of the ones who chose him.
Yeah, Gary Lineker fascinated me. I didn't realise he was such a cricket follower.
Yeah, he played for MCC. Famously, was out for one against Germany, and of course that allowed him to say, I would score one against Germany.
Could he be out on penalties?
Probably,
in a cricket match. Super over, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably where he'd have thrived. There were politicians, there were saxophonists. It was interesting that, again, Wisden kind of reaching out beyond its immediate sort of area. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's also the 100 tests for England's women in there, which I think is great. One for Gary, poor old Gary, we dissed him a little bit earlier with his 0.0 whatever it was % of Wisden pages. But there's a history of overrates. Which again,
Jesus, starting to get Gary on that one.
Finding reasons not to play cricket. But it's quite, it goes back to, you trace that back, I think, to Len Hutton and his protection of Statham and Tyson, and kind of go from there. And once again, it sounds like it might be a little bit tripping into nerd territory, and you walk away going, well, actually, there's some stuff there I didn't know. What was really interesting to me was the new experiments where Sunil Narayan got sent off or nominated to be sent off in the CPL. They're trialing the 60-second turnaround, which I think England had in the West Indies in that. Do you genuinely think sending off some red cards are going to be a feature for things like that in the future?
Well, it's possible. I mean, everything else I've tried hasn't worked. I'm not an overrate nerd. I know lots of people. It's funny because you mention overrates on social media, and as many people tell you that it's a media obsession as get angry about it themselves. So I think people are generally split on it. And Andy Bull wrote this piece, and you're right that if it was just a kind of, here's how many overs they bowled in the 1950s and here's how many they bowled today and what a disgrace it is, that wouldn't have worked as a piece. The piece had to get into the whole kind of, it's almost like the introduction of cynicism into cricket. That's one of the interesting things about overrates. And as you mentioned, Len Hutton, the 54-55 Ashes, wanted his fast bowlers not to hurry through the overs because he wanted them to be fit. He wanted them to have breaks. So he would encourage them to walk slowly to the back of their mark. I mean, their overrate dropped massively in that series. They're getting barracked by the crowd, but Hutton's calculation was it would help England win the Ashes. So the professionalisation of cricket, Hutton as England's first long-term professional captain, it was a kind of interesting moment socially, historically, for me. And so hopefully Andy turns it into more than just a lament about the slowness of today's game.
Yeah, I think he does. But there is also, as we're all here sat in this pub because we love cricket in different formats, probably most formats, some more than others, format-wise. But there was one every so often. The game just does things you think it's like talk about. Here's a foot, here's a gun, have a shot, just crazy. And one of them was, I think, the stat that comes in that article about from the Ashes. 28 was over 28 Ashes points. I might have the numbers not completely right. That England accrued, 19 of which were taken away basically penalising them for having scored their runs so fast they needed less overs. It just didn't make sense. So how can you justify robbing England of 19 points in a series that was a marquee series that was just a fantastically historic piece of entertainment? It's nuts.
Yeah, there is that side to it. I mean, the other thing we discovered quite late on in the process was that in the Ashes, England's over rate was faster than Australia's.
Yeah.
Ridiculously, overall, England bowled something like 13.2 an hour to Australia's 12.5. And yet, because of the way that it was diced and sliced, with Usman Khawaja famously lobbying the ICC to change the rules halfway through the series so that any innings of 80 overs or fewer didn't count. I mean, that's absolute nonsense, really. So I'm all for them keeping up the over rate. England had only themselves to blame to a degree, but the discrepancy between how they suffered and how Australia suffered seemed mad to me.
Yeah,
well, we are ringing the last orders bell. But I've got a couple more things we'd like to ask you. You were ultimately, I think, I can't remember whether it's in your introductory piece, but you say cricket has challenges, but we're hoping for a few more Super Sundays. Ultimately, where do you sit in terms of your overall confidence for the Test format of the game? We know all the challenges. We know the pressures of franchises and shorter formats and broadcast requirements. Are you optimistic, or cautiously optimistic, or worried as hell? Where's Lawrence on this one?
Probably closer towards the latter. I just think the way it's going, we've had for so many years administrators have banged on about the primacy of Test cricket, and their deeds have not backed up their words. Australia, England and India, great, they play 5 Test series against each other all the time, and we can be fooled into thinking that Test cricket is healthy because of that. I mean, next year England host India for 5 Tests, then go to Australia. It'll be a great year to cover, be an exciting year for all those 3 countries. In the meantime, the other 7 or 9 now, I suppose,
be more Super Sundays. Ultimately, where do you sit in terms of your overall confidence for the Test format of the game? We know all the challenges. We know the pressures of franchises and shorter formats and broadcast requirements. Are you optimistic, or cautiously optimistic, or worried as hell? Where's Lawrence on this one?
Probably closer towards the latter. I just think the way it's going, we've had for so many years administrators have banged on about the primacy of Test cricket, and their deeds have not backed up their words. Australia, England and India, great, they play 5 Test series against each other all the time, and we can be fooled into thinking that Test cricket is healthy because of that. I mean, next year England host India for 5 Tests, then go to Australia. It'll be a great year to cover, be an exciting year for all those 3 countries. In the meantime, the other 7 or 9 now, I suppose.
We're back. Hello, Forthy. Hello, Bear.
Oh, hello. Oh, right. Very good. Nice to be back. Hello there. And we resume with Butler. We're focusing on him. He's behind the stumps. Moeen Ali looks like he is going to take the first over. Mohammad Rizwan will be facing up. He's got this is the slight worry for Pakistan. His strike rate is 128, which by modern T20 standards is little on the low side. But Moeen Ali, his economy is 8.3. Maybe his best days are behind him these days. What is he, 36 or something like that, Moeen?
I know the feeling. I think Pakistan is seriously going to struggle to overhaul this total. I think England could have done a lot better, but I really think Pakistan's batting is unlikely to be up to this total.
We shall see. Moeen in from the in this second Vitality RTD20. The first one was hurricaned out. Pitches it right up and dug out by Rizwan. No run.
Should I have some jingles then?
Please do.
Our beard shouldn't touch. Move over, AMLO. I like it.
And that one, Rizwan closes the face of the bats, but the result is the same as the first ball. Goes straight to Livingston at mid-wicket. Dot ball.
Moeen Ali.
Who are the batsmen? Baba and Rizwan? No, not Baba.
Ayub, if you've got a jingle for him. And Rizwan dances down the wicket, smashes it. This time it has gone again to Liam Livingstone, but this time on the full. And he is out.
Oh,
so,
dear.
breakthrough, third ball.
The crowd says, the crowd says, the crowd says you're out.
That's a good start for England. One of the danger men gone.
Yeah, I don't know whether he saw him coming down the wicket, and it seemed a bit early to feel tied down on the third ball, but it was a pretty ugly looking shot when he could not have got his eye in quite yet. And straight to Livingstone. He took a pretty good tumbling catch, not necessarily because of the difficulty, more because of the speed at which it was coming at him, but modern cricketers, no problem.
Well, that's not a good start.
No, not a great start. It has to be said. No,
A little quiet. Johnny Bairstow, who's looks like he's got a top which is a couple of sizes too short for him, just coming down to the waist. Perhaps he put in the wrong order on his form when he filled it out. Who knows? Yeah. Okay. So was it good? For as far as England are concerned, they posted 183 for 7. If you're just joining us, which I think the general consensus amongst the Guerrillites is marginally puts England in the driving seat.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a pretty good total. I think, yeah, I think anything over 180 was reasonable. They could overhaul it, but I think you're pushing a defendable score at that level.
Just trying to see who the new batsman is. Doesn't seem. Oh, it's Saeem Ayub. That's correct. Yes, and he gets off the mark with a single first ball. No, he doesn't. That was Baba. My apologies.
No. Yeah, it was Baba who got the single. That's right.
It was Baba who got the single. It's Ayub who's now on strike. Last ball of Moeen's first over. Played defensively out on the offside to the ubiquitous Livingstone. Pakistan 1 for 1 at the end of the first over.
No, we don't have a
George McPherson says, "What a disastrous innings by England. They should stop losing wickets. England cricket has gone downhill since their introduction at the 100. England could have had 200 plus the way they were playing earlier, but the loss of wickets didn't help one bit." And Dara Aziz is with us, says hi all. And Kieran says, "Hi Dara, can only see an England win here if they bowl properly." I agree. Leah's with us. Hello Leah. Hello, missed the first innings. Looks like Pakistaning this up. Let's hope the IPL final will be better. Yeah. Well, I mean, we shall see. You never know with Baba. He can, when he comes off, he's pretty special.
From the other end, Reece Topley.
I've got to go and find a jingle for, but we have one.
First ball is full and on middle stump, and it's whipped elegantly by Baba down to the man at deep square leg, and they come through for a single. He moves on to 2.
His jingle goes like this.
KB once tried to kill him, and AB smashed him off the park. Then Boyd Rankin shattered his hand. But Reece Topley is finally in the side.
Very good. Topley in again. And Ayub opens the face of the bat. He's left-handed and plays it down to Rashid, who is fielding at third man. Comes through for the single. He's off the mark. And on the hour mark in the FA Cup final, it remains Manchester City.
Yeah, I was a bit late back because I was getting a bit engrossed in that. City look a bit worried, which was quite entertaining.
Just ignore United. Be pleased with themselves.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's jerking. Topley back in again. My internet connection is unstable. Yes, I know that. Do you want to describe that ball, Bear?
No. Did they score a run?
Do you want to Describe that ball, Missy.
I was looking at
I
my
got
phone.
the same
I can now.
jerking that you did.
Swished that, and he got a bit of inside edge. It bounced over the top of the stumps and towards Butler. I was just opening my betting app.
First things first.
Fair going under.
Yeah, I'm thinking about an under here.
Top the fourth ball of the over to Baba. And that's full and just outside off. And Baba plays a nice economical drive. He gets all of it wide of the man in the covers, and it goes through for one of these.
Fall to the next wicket is what I'm looking for. 29.5. What are they on? 7.
7.
22 runs. One of them's Baba. I'm going to go under. I'm not even convinced myself on that one. Oh, they're giving me 29.5 now.
Going underground.
They kept changing it. Fortunately, they haven't accepted my bet now. I bet if they hit a 4 next ball, I'm going on.
Okay. And that one again is wide of the man who is Archer, who let's hope he doesn't pull a hamstring, because he really had to accelerate going after that one. Flicks it back, and they've come back for 2.
You should be getting 31 now, but
something like that. Yeah, sometimes Bet365 are really slow. 32.5. Ooh, bingo.
Don't mention that.
A nice looking shot into the covers by Ayub, and I think yes they came. Oh, that's the end of the over, so he remains on 1, and the score 10 for 1 at the end of the second. Baba on 9. Messi, anything happening?
Yeah, Leah says, what are you on about? They lost their wicket. England are well into the tail now, surely. Mike says, why is 100 starting July 23rd this season when there's a test match with West Indies on the 26th? Well, I think they can coexist. I mean, there's only a dozen people tied up in a test match. The 100 uses, well, I suppose they only operating 10s, but it probably only uses 120 other people.
Moeen Ali again sees Bauer coming down the wicket and puts perhaps just a little more top spin on that one, and he just plays it down to mid-on, comes through for the single. Quite an interesting little battle, actually, between Moeen and Baba. A cerebral battle.
That was
ugly. Very ugly smear down to mid-off by Baba for no run. And Moeen's currently winning this little mini battle.
I don't associate that with
Baba.
Baba.
Got a good question for you, Bear. He says,
I lost you there. What?
What are the odds on a run out?
Well, I got one of those the other day. In an IPL game, 75 quid from a 5 quid bet, 14 to 1 generally.
I see. But this is Pakistan.
Yeah, I'm going to wait.
Baba closes the face of the bat and plays it through mid wicket. There is no mid wicket, so they come through for a single.
Shadab Khan's my man for a run out. When he comes in, I'm like, well, because he's a bit haphazard between the wickets, I seem to remember.
Pakistan 11 for 1. Ayub on 1. Ali 1 for 2. 1.3 overs bowled. And that's a very quickly scampered single, but safe enough from Ayub. Squirted it out to Gully, who had to pelt in, but couldn't cut off the single. He moves on to
It's a very leisurely start, isn't it? Given the fact they've got a fairly decent score to chase there.
England.
That's interesting. The DRS has come out. Why is that? Anyone know?
Review for an LBW.
LBW, okay.
Because it went off his pad. I think it was bouncing too high. So
let's have a look.
We shall see.
It probably pitched outside leg.
Didn't pitch outside leg, but it's certainly going down leg, I'd have thought.
Going down leg side, because it hits him more or less in front of leg stump, and he's got his pad in front of the popping crease. So,
and it didn't turn at all from that angle.
pretty sure the maths is against him here.
Yeah, that's hit his glove as well. So
Apart from that,
apart
very
from that, it
good
was
shot.
really close. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so strange when you see something like that. Why on earth would you appeal, particularly in the third over? But anyway, sometimes I've been in the commentary seat where we said, well, "Why have they?" But he's out. So it
Happened a
doesn't
couple of times that India series, isn't it? Really close
Yes, it did,
LBWs
yeah.
from Ashwin.
Yeah.
And when you don't take one,
Yeah. Moeen over the wicket to Baba, who plays it again through the vacant mid-wicket area for a single.
So much so in that India series, wasn't it, that people were saying that fucking DRS was hooky.
Yeah.
You know, it got to fever pitch. But the fact is that they were good reviews, and they calculate correctly, and the system as it is gave it out. So you can't argue with
Yes.
it for me, you know.
I don't think it's quite a Horizon Fujitsu system. No. It's a bit more accurate. And that's played out straight to the man all along the ground. I hasten to add, Livingston again, who's been in the thick of the action for a dot ball. Have you been following the post office?
Kind of. It kind of annoys me because it's so fucking obvious. But that woman in the dock the other day, Paula Venables, whatever her name is, man, that's bent. You can't fucking
I don't know. I
crocodile tears when you've been caught bang to rights. That's what comes to
Don't
mind.
know why. Don't know why I typed that. I have no idea. I can't recall. You've got to understand I'm a busy woman.
Yeah,
Over
bollocks.
2 days. End of the third over. Pakistan 13 for 1. Messi, anything happening?
yeah, Leah sent us a photo of something from a handbag. She says, "Look at that! Got a Ravi Shastri tribute embossed on a leather thingy for my handbag, and what it says is like a tracer bullet." Which
Sorry, I brought in Messi a bit late there. Top please in again for the start of his fourth over, and that goes straight to mid-on. Dot ball to Baba. Is that it? Messi, anything else happening? No, that's just-
Leah also says, "I don't care about the 16.4 over competition. The Test summer starts on my birthday." There you go. Appropriate.
Oh, mistimed by Baba, straight up into the air, and I'm pretty sure that Chris Jordan has snaffled that one up. Big sigh of relief from him. He judged it correctly, and is that correct?
Yeah, he got away with it. It went just over the head of Chris Jordan. Who was
Just
running
went
back.
over his head. Yeah, no, you're right. Sorry, it's not total incompetence on my part. My feed is a little jerky, so sometimes can't always join the dots.
You having to watch it off the Zoomy thing?
I'm watching it off the Zoom. The thing is that it's just too far behind off the TV screen. It's about a ball behind. It's because in the old analog world, it wasn't a problem. You could connect up the two things because of digital packaging.
Yes, well, there's always for something that travels at the
this time
speed
he's
of light.
out.
He's out this time. Yeah, he's gone to Pullet as Iab, who we didn't have a jingle for. Considering we've had so many jingles sent in recently, we didn't have one for Iab. I could find it nowhere. But he's hit that straight up in the air.
He gave it everything.
Yeah.
And he ended up with the bat going through 360 degrees. But as you say, it went straight up in the air down to square leg, and he's oot. Topley gets
6
his
in
man.
Chennai.
And that's Phil Salt doing the work on the...
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
Yeah, it would have been 6 in Chennai.
This is not an auspicious start from Pakistan, who are now 14 for 2 of 3.3 overs.
Oh,
dear.
look, Ben Duckett's out in the field. Looking very short.
We've had them all today. We've had short ones, wide ones, long gangly ones, all sorts.
Well, I got one bet in. I did get my under.
Dara
Oh,
Azizi says, "Have Kent signed a contract this season that guarantees their opposition at least 500 first innings runs? Yeah, Essex has scored a shed load of runs, which is good for Essex. They're running third in the championship. Somerset have already lost by an innings. Surrey's getting absolutely hammered. So Essex will catch up a fair bit in the championship as a result of that, hopefully."
The experienced Fakir Zaman, the left-handed Fakir Zaman, who's played 87 T20s.
And we
That's
got
actually only got an average of 23, so could do better.
got a jingle for him. Goes like this.
Opens the batting for Pakistan.
Flo left her bowling, if that's in your plan. I'm waiting for some man.
Go on.
That is 4 runs straight away. Let me just have a quick look here. Topley comes in, and that is a false shot which just eludes the man, which is Moeen Ali, who's standing wide at second slip. Maybe a younger, more agile Moeen Ali might have been able to at least throw a hand up on that.
Maybe. I think it was still a bit wide. We'll give it
He
one
goes
of
with
these.
the wrong hand, really, doesn't he? He goes with his left hand when maybe a goalkeeper style dive with his right might have got there.
Yeah, but then you're always going over yourself, aren't you?
And that's a smear, a scoop smear down to long leg. So that's another 4. So suddenly things are happening out there. PAK moves on to 8 off 2.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, it's quite a good shot. Looked a bit ugly, but it was well manufactured.
It was, yeah. It sort of pumped into his tummy a little faster than he thought, but he still managed to get it off more like the top of the bat, but got enough on it.
I got enough on it, exactly that. He scores quickly, does Thacker.
He clearly does. He's another one with a strike rate of 400 at the moment. He's 8 off 2, and Pakistan are 22 for 2. Topley in again for the last ball of his over, and that's called a wide by so we'll have to bowl that one again.
I've got under 47.5 to fall to the next wicket. So that's what, 20, nearly 30 runs. No.
What, you've gone under on that.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to get another wicket in the power play.
Feel it in
I
your
swear
water.
to God, Reece Topley is looking more like Desperate Dan than ever.
Well, he does. He's desperately desperate Dan, but that's a good shot. Fucking hell, that's a good shot.
You want to describe it there?
Yeah, he's come down the track, flat battered it over cow. I think.
There we go.
I think it's gone for 6. No, it's gone for 4. But that's a cracking shot. Hit that hard and flat. Well, not flat because wasn't off the ground. It was off the ground, but pretty flat.
Very
out
hard.
there.
So at the end of the 4th over, Pakistan are suddenly looking at 27 for 2. So things looking a little rosier for them.
Dara Azizi just says Darren Stevens, please. And Pokey says, hello, Pokey. Prophecy from 40 there. Got him the next ball.
Absolutely.
Good work. Good work. We might have something on Twitter. We do. Andy says, someone says you look like a cartoon mouse who just heard the cat had eaten her husband. What was that in relation to?
Well, that's a good.
And
your favourite cartoon mice, I go Stuart Little, Jerry, and one of the ones who pulls the pumpkin in Cinderella. That'd be my top 3, I think. Favourite cartoon mice.
Very quick work there. Well done. Jay says, I wouldn't say I'm a stranger to anger, but Paula Vennell's testimony sent me into a rage so violent and tempestuous, I let myself calm down in about 30 seconds. Some of that.
Meanwhile, a lovely bit of tag fielding between Rashid and Joffer Archer cuts off the 4, and I think they've either come through for 2 or 3. And Baba moves on to either 14 or 15.
Wicked. We're really accurate on this channel.
One or the other, depending on whether they got 2 or 3.
Andy's clarified because I'd missed it. The cartoon mouse reference was, of course, to Paula Vennell's, which is very
It does look like a
appropriate.
cartoon rodent. Yeah. I think mouse is a bit generous. It has been compelling viewing, I've got to be honest. I'm so impressed with the KCs, who are so well drilled and rehearsed. Okay, so there's another 4, this time for Thacker. Just plays jingle and I'll work out how he hit it.
He swept it on. He's certainly come out combative, hasn't he?
He has, yes. He's he's got the aggressive role. Go hard or go home. And so far he's going hard very successfully. Rather unusual uniforms in the crowd. And the Eric Holly stand, no doubt.
here's a run out.
Almost a run out. Highly scampered single. Wasn't the best of throws, but I'm sure think he would have been safely home anyway. So PAK manages to slightly get away with that one, but that's okay. Calculated risk time.
Having scored the fours, you know, can afford to be a little bit lax.
Exactly right. Baba on strike, facing Moeen halfway through his third over. And again, kitchen sink at that one. I think he's found the gap. Yes, he has. So
Nice shot.
That was a good shot.
Classic Pakistan, right them off at your peril. Well, suddenly in the space of 2 overs, there's very much a changed atmosphere in the ground.
Yeah. How long before we see Jofra? Surprised they didn't have him opening up, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't really see the point of holding him back.
No.
What would be the thinking behind that? And
No
that's
idea.
a quickly run. England were 40 for 1 at this stage. Pakistan are 40 for 2. So there's, from a scoreboard point of view, nothing in it, literally.
Yeah.
Last ball of Moeen's over. Comes round the wicket. And down the wicket comes Baba and ends up defending it. So 40 for 2 at the end of the 5th. I think we've got a couple of overs left in us.
Yeah, we have. We got an over more. We change at 7.
Nerd Snack on Twitter, who I think is probably another version of Leah, says PAK should endorse Audi cars. Campaign idea: I like my cars like I like my boundaries, well manufactured. And Jay says, I love how fourth is. Do you want to describe it there? Has become a rhetorical question.
I like just giving him the option. Oh, well, okay. This is what England have been waiting to see for a very long time. Jofra Archer to the attack.
Ooh, give him a jingle. Well deserved.
He will break your helmet, break your heart. Hotter than lava, cooler than Bogart. In your face, at your stumps, on your toes, on your mum. Jofra.
First ball back in international cricket. And it's accurate, it's fast, and it's defended by Baba. Dot ball.
Well, the thing we'll see is the pace. Is the pace still there?
Yes, that's right. His statistics in T20 cricket are okay. I mean, they're good, but not great. It's more the theatre of the man. The people will, you say, these sort of people will clear out the bar because everyone loves big pace. Okay, so Baba's decided to fight fire with fire. Takes 2 steps back and smashes Jofra over mid-off. Man still up for 4.
That's a good shot. Yeah. Knew the man was up. As long as he got it over the infield, it was likely to be 4, wasn't it? It was just short of 6.
Weather, I haven't seen his. So it was on 142 kilometres per hour, so fast, certainly. Baba full of ball from Jofra, and he just glides that down to the man at third man for a single. Jofra's not looking. He's wincing slightly. He never looks entirely happy. Fast bowlers often don't, do they? They're never full of the joys. We've had 18 years of Jimmy Anderson wincing his way back to his mark. Jofra's got a very different gait to Jimmy, of course. In again, very straight run, very wicket-to-wicket bowler. And that one's managed to penetrate, Fakar on this occasion has penetrated the off-field inner cordon and has got 4 of these.
That was a really nice shot. He picked that up with sweet timing.
Yeah, it's very nice. Managed to. Yeah, it's very sweet. When's the end of the restrictions in T20?
Power plays first 6 overs.
First 6 overs, yeah. So this will. That's hence the reason why I make hay while the sun shines. Another 2 balls of the first power play, the power play. Right, to describe that one, Fakar comes across his stumps, ends up way outside off stump, and scoops it back over his head and over Butler's head for a maximum.
6. That was a good shot as well, wasn't it? It went across. You know one was down there.
They're really liking the pace on the ball, aren't they?
Yeah.
They absolutely are. This is not the return to international cricket that we were anticipating for Jofra Archer. He's gone 0-4-1-4-6, and for the last ball of the over, that's been smashed at great pace, but straight to Livingston all along the ground, who does the fielding, brings his hands. And at the end of the 6th over, Pakistan 55-2, and Archer's gone for 15 off his first over back in international cricket.
So just about up
Brian
with
in
the rate.
Brisbane is, Brian in Brisbane is with us. Says afternoon all from the Wharf Pub in Bugbrook, Northamptonshire. 20 degrees when the sun pops out between the clouds. Kieran says the trouble with the 100 is the cricket isn't really metric, is it? Pokey says itchy or scratchy, Vival and Danger Mouse. Mice are pretty well represented in animation circles. Kieran says not forgetting the empire of Mickey and Minnie. Yeah, they're very much corporate mice, aren't they, Mickey and Minnie?
Yes, they're post office
Yes.
mice, yeah.
By the way, Brian, if you're listening, you should know that I don't know what you asked people to send us, but they sent us alcohol-free beer last time. Did you actually ask people to send us alcohol-free beer? We got Heineken Zero.
I love it. He was concerned about you driving home there.
And that's Chris Jordan into the attack, and that's a slightly false shot, which just eludes Chris Jordan, and just goes down to mid-off for a single.
Alcohol-free beer will remain here, time immemorial. It survived the nuclear holocaust in Guerrilla Towers.
I do not see the point of alcohol-free beer.
No.
Frankly.
Well, if they've made it taste of something, then yes, it does have a point, because you join in with your beer drinking mates and then you get to drive home. It was just tasted like shite all those years. Apparently they've solved that problem.
Not really. I've had some low-calorie beer sent in once, which was actually quite good, as long as it was ice cold.
Yes, that's a different matter altogether, isn't it? Miller Lite used to be a low-calorie beer, I believe. Hence the LITE, the light. And that's a single played wide of the man at mid-off by Fakar. He's moving on very nicely, Fakar Azam. He's on 28 off 10.
Yeah, he's...
Brisbane says a couple here at the pub have a ferret on the lead. It's all excitement in Northamptonshire.
Ah. My uncle, my pisshead uncle, who's an alcoholic, used to keep ferrets.
Yeah, Why did you do that?
I had no idea, but I do remember going
Okay.
around there, and he had ferrets, and he put them. You could have them in your clothes, and they would run around your clothes.
I remember Joe Grundy in The Archers. He kept ferrets, and there's a heart-wrenching scene in one of those Archers episodes when they run completely out of money and they have to destroy the ferret. It had people writing in BBC for weeks because it was absolutely heart-wrenching. in comes Chris Jordan, and oh dear, that's wide down the side. That will be a wide.
I must say, I have never ever listened to an episode of The Archers.
I used to listen to it when I was in the UK, but as soon as you move away, it doesn't make a lot of sense living in Australia to listen to The Archers, really.
Need an Australian
The best bit
Archers.
of The Archers
You could just be on
is
some
the
sheep
theme
farm in
music.
northern Queensland.
It was originally created by the government to explain to people in an
farming.
entertaining way about how farming worked after the war. In comes Chris Jordan, and that's played by Baba down to long on, and it will just be a single. As has all happened to all soaps, it's moved into the area of melodrama with murders and rapes and stalking and all of those things.
So that's how farming works, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Same thing happened to Emmerdale, didn't it? That just became a rehearsal for junior models to work out. Same thing happens. Neighbours, obviously. Great. In comes Jordan, and slightly inelegant shot by Fakar, but he manages to squeeze it out onto the offside to the sweeper there. They come through for a single.
I know.
Brian says alcohol-free beer. So funny. I send that because I see younger, more healthy blokes in the towers. Noted now. No more zero alcohol beer.
Definitely no zero alcohol beer.
Last ball of our triumvirate's time together. It'll be Jordan, who's just gone for 5 runs off 5 balls, so he's put a little bit of a break on the scoring. Pakistan are beginning to get away. Might still. Baba faces. Oh, and he slices that just wide of Joss Butler, and it'll go all the way for another 4. So Pakistan will move to 64 for 2 at the end of the 7th over, and we will have a new regime.
2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, shut the door.
Yeah, it's Andy is going to take over your ball by ball duties. 40, you're going to do some socials, and Will is going to join us for the next 8 overs, I suppose.
The next YouTube message is from Mayank 40, and this one from Dave Barrett expressing his disgust at alcohol-free beer.
Exactly, and you're dead right, Dave. You're dead right, Dave. I'll see you in a bit.
Right, well, Pakistan, after a slow start, this partnership's 50 off just 21 balls. And Fakhar Zaman saying, put me in that World Cup team. 28 off 10, I think. Certainly making his case. Well, a man who's seen it all before coming on to bowl. We get a jingle. It's going to be Adil Rashid on the 45. Tosses one up, quite full. It's tipped into the leg side. He goes after it himself and should keep them down to 1. So will Pakistan fighting hard. Oh, hang on. No, you're summarising. Yeah, Pakistan coming right back into this game.
Yeah, I think it was interesting. I actually wrote down on my notes. I keep notes. That if they let Baba get settled, I thought that Pakistan are just gonna do it, and that seems to be sort of coming more into a possibility.
Well, absolutely. Baba 31 off 21. Fakhar really providing the impetus. I think he got 16 off his first 4 balls. He's on 30 off 12. Babar's on strike. To Rashid, comes in from wide, tosses it up, and it's defended. And there's no run. But this is what England want. You don't want to engineer a tight game, but you still want a tight game. You want to get the juices flowing in these warm-ups and get people into pressure situations. I know they've been there before, but, be competitive and get yourself in a good mental state to play the big games.
Yeah, exactly.
Flipped into the leg side. Butler runs around and picks it up. There's no run again.
I think, you want, in these warm-up games, you want as much kind of in-game pressure as you can get, because, you're going into a World Cup and there will be pressure at some point.
Looked like the googly, it's chopped down to backward point. Archer picks it up. There's a bit of a fumble. They should get through for a single. Archer's first over. Room for improvement. Baseline to work from, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think considering the lack of game time he's had, he looked all right. I think that's
tipped into the leg side, into the wide open spaces. 2 men come in from deep, but they just amble through for a single. Then again, I've found in this current IPL, I think the really quick bowlers, every year they seem to go more and more the distance. The Nortkiers, the Starks, the Fergusons. The real pace guys are just not being able to work those short balls as much as they used to. And
that's true.
Anything in the slot or full, it just rockets off the bat quicker than it came. Rashid's in again. That's going to be a wide, but did the batsman leave his crease there for half a second? We'll never know because Butler didn't pick it up.
I think that
Butler thinks it's hit the batsman's heel, but it's been given a wide. But I'm guessing we don't have reviews for wides in this game like we had in the IPL.
I do think that the IPL has meant that it's become much more of a batting game. I think that's been a large part of it. Certainly the amount of short form cricket that you get to play with the IPL and all the franchise stuff, means that the kind of tricks that the fast bowlers have kind of been worked out to a certain extent.
I could buy that. We had one more ball outside off stump that's about to be missed again, so a good over from Rashid, only went for 3, and England reeling it in a little bit as a result.
Well, for those interested in footballing matters, Man City have pulled a goal back. So it's Man City 1, Man United 2, but they did that in the 87th minute. They're now into 7 minutes of added time at Wembley. How are your nerves?
Moeen is in, that's hit him in front, that's a decent shout, it's been given out. Now, will Babur review? It turned a little bit, but it seemed to hit him in front of the middle to me. Then again, he took a big step. It's the captain's review, but I think this will be clipping. Did you get a good look at that one, Will?
I've always been pretty terrible at these.
That was plum.
Looked out to me, I was going to say.
But I was going to say...
the bear has the biggest screen. I thought it was out as well.
It's hit in front of middle. It's hit in front of middle and off. It's going to hit middle. Maybe not.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah. That's a bit further over than I thought, and that was always my view when I was umpiring. I didn't like to give many, but if a right arm over hit someone in front of middle and off, I would generally give it.
It's given out on the field. Only needs to clip. It's hard to see that missing.
I think it's clipping middle now we look at it.
Yeah.
Nice description.
Clipping middle about halfway up.
Yep. Captain's review, it has hit him in front of the middle and off. It's hitting leg, which is good enough. Pakistan lose the review. More importantly, they lose the wicket of Babar Azam, who was going nicely. And England's spin twins have pulled this game back.
Now, do we have a jingle playing?
How's that? You missed about, I caught you out. How's that?
We do. Just a few messages while we're waiting. Mayank, Bear, you're anti-British. I listen once in a while, and I'm not even British. I'm bloody Norwegian-American of Indian descent. Oh, I didn't know that, Mayank. Kieran Roseblade, it's cheaper than a soft drink in a pub, referring to alcohol-free beer. And there is a bit of football talk. Meanwhile, let's have a quick look over on Twitter. Jay, I've long been concerned about Bear driving home, so I wholly approve of alcohol-free beer. Not for me, mind. I don't drive. Me dad's mate, who is a brewer, made something called a sparking hop drink, which were foul.
Well, Bear, get that run out net on, because it's your man's coming to
yes. That's what I'm doing.
Bumped up to 5, but they often do this, Pakistan. He plays that one in front of point, they'll get away for a single. Flat throw, just trying to scuff that ball up a little bit.
I think that could be a fairly decent tactic for Pakistan in these sort of middle overs, just working the singles, because the ground's big enough that you can do that. It's, so the sort of 1s and 2s.
Well, Thakkar has been full on so far, and he's down the track again. Now it's gone up. Has it gone far enough? I think it has. Oh, you bet it has. That one bounces up on the railings by the cameras. That was a big 6. Happens to us all. Lovely footwork down the track, and he's certainly got all of that. He is not hanging around today, Thakkar.
He's not. Nearly got the camera there. That's a long way up.
Yep, he fainted to come down the wicket again. Fainted with a knee, but in the end he didn't. And Moeen put it in a good position so he could only block it back to him. Let's see what he does this time. Stays back because it's short and cuts it to point. A bit of a diving stop. Looks like Jordan. No, it's Archer, sorry. I'm sure Jordan will be patrolling long on or somewhere like that and get through for a single.
Are you okay to say feigned in that situation as well as faint? Just checking now whether you can say feigned.
Kind of, yeah. Like I mean, it's generally feigning is a word that is only ever partnered by injury.
It says pretend to be affected by. She feigns nervousness. It
Yes.
says here.
Oh, that's a horrid ball from Moeen. He rather gets away with it. It was a half tracker. Chadab can only clump it out to Phil Salt, the wicket for a single. End of the over. What a wicket, 76 for 3 off 9.
Okay, lovely message from Hattie the Batty. Happiness is afternoon tea in the garden, listening to guerrilla cricket while watching the birds enjoying their mealworm treat.
That does sound nice.
Isn't that nice? That feels like that. It's 4:45. There's buttered scones. The clock, the clock tower striking.
No, isn't it? Stands the clock at 10 to 3.
And is there honey still for tea?
Yeah, as we said at college, a guy wrote a poem. He said, "Stands the clock at 10 to 3, and is it time for football on TV?"
Oh, so cynical and that age. Anyway, I think we're up to date now.
Rashid's got a slip in, and he does toss it up outside off stump. It's clumped up to long on. Didn't really get all of it. So there indeed is Chris Jordan in his accustomed place, and he keeps him down to 1. $77 for 3. The target's 184. Could have been more, but then it could have been fewer towards the end. A couple of big hits from Jofra Archer.
And again, let me compliment you, Andy, on fewer rather than less and faint with an E rather than feign. You're on very good grammatical form this afternoon.
I'm the pedant's pedant, but where do you put the apostrophe in that? That one's tipped out to backward square leg for a single. But I know the guys were bemoaning the loss of wickets late in the England innings. I didn't think it was that much of a problem. They had a platform, they were always going to get 175. They maybe could have got 10 more, but maximum. Oh, that's up in the air. I don't think Shadab's got all of that. No, he hasn't. It was only a question of whether it carried, and I think that's a good catch by Jordan. Yes, I think so. He certainly picked the wrong man. He had to cover a lot of ground, Jordan, but his skills have not been dulled in that area. He's a very, very good fielder at making the ground and catching, and that's what he did there.
I'd have
Jordan sorry, in the team. Bears disappeared, sorry. Got underneath it, Shadab Khan trying to sweep, and that was a very good low catch, making up ground at long on. Went forward, had to adjust and go round, just a bit more. Safe hands.
Jay says I'm not fain to comment on the matter. Armchair Cricket Podcast. A crucial couple of overs for both teams as Shadab Khan comes in ahead of the middle order muscle looking to consolidate. This means England can keep the runs down and let the RRR, required run rate, climb. Bakar Zaman will fight that for Pakistan.
Well, he'll be their main hope. But England spinners, I think, are going to have a lot of work to do in this upcoming World Cup. And they're getting some overs and indeed some wickets under their belt.
Well, Manchester United have won the FA Cup.
Just about to say that does appear to have finished. So, is the manager going to be rewarded with the sack for doing that?
Which will be the second time in about 5 years they've done that, haven't they? They did the same with Louis van Gaal about 5 years ago. Won the FA Cup, you're sacked.
Yeah, well, it's not as high priority as it used to be, for better or worse.
As someone who absolutely despises Man United, would absolutely love him to stay for as long as they want, as long as they possibly can keep him, because he's been terrible for them.
They are a club that don't appeal to the neutrals. There was one in our cricket team. I mean, they've had quite a long decline, but saying last season, "Oh, we don't deserve this." Everyone goes, "You totally deserve it."
I don't know how long it would take. I think it would have to take a generation.
There
must be people. There would have been people in about 1915 who hated Preston.
And Huddersfield, I'm sure. Yeah.
There would have been people in 1952 who hated Huddersfield. They remembered them winning.
Yeah. Herbert Chapman's Huddersfield were an absolute powerhouse in the 1920s.
Absolutely.
And then he came to Arsenal, of course.
Yeah, and one day champion. Didn't they win the league 3 times in a row with both?
Yeah, I think he did.
Yes, he did. He then they also did a league and cup double in 1935, but the And then, interestingly, they won that one on goal average.
They didn't do the double in
tightest.
19. They didn't do a double in 1935, Ripley, surely, because there wasn't a
Right.
double dub between Preston and Arsenal in 1971.
That's what I believe is the case. But anyway, on to cricket. Oh, and it's Pakistan's chunky monkey wicketkeeper has come in. Azam Khan, let's see what he can do. He misses the ball and rather lunges at the ball outside off stump. Butler takes the bails off just because he's keeping to another keeper. Type in Arsenal 1935 into Wikipedia and see what it comes up with.
I didn't mean a League and Cup double. I meant he did it. He finished 3 in a row in 1935,
Ah.
and he did that with Huddersfield.
Right.
Yes.
I couldn't find a succinct way of saying that, but yeah, no. The first
The
League
trouble
Cup-
is, Riley, you're on with a couple of pedants here, so we leapt on it.
Yeah.
An important clarification, I'm sure everyone will agree, but we will get people on Twitter. If you get anything wrong, I'm only saving you people on Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell you
that's
all about
that's
it.
totally fair.
Meanwhile, Azam Khan's big toe was safely back in his crease. We have an umpire's review for that stumping. And Rashid's
It's
going to come
slightly
in.
extraordinary that the first double of the 20th century didn't happen until 1971.
Yeah. Now you get one every other season. Well,
Yeah, exactly.
but this is good stuff from Rashid. He has bowled 11 balls, 1 for 5. They haven't been able to get hold of him at all. He's got all the wiliness that you could possibly want. He's going to come in to complete this over. Rather pleasingly, 1 for 5 of 1.5. And is Azam Khan going to make that 1 for 6? No, even he should get back for 2 here with Jacks in the outfield. And he does indeed lumber back for 2 to finish the over.
Didn't Spurs do the League and Cup double in the 60s?
Oh, they did, didn't they? They did it
61,
they did
yeah.
it in 61. Yeah, great
Yeah.
pickup. Great pickup. Jay Grover, I hate Preston and Huddersfield, not for footballing reasons, mind. Pokey Bum Finger, I use fame, but it's a bit wordy for general conversation. Pretended is a safer bet. And Messi mentions that Celtic beat Rangers 1-0, which will upset my friend Ross no end, but it'll cheer my friend Philip up because they're both ends of the spectrum in Glasgow.
Okay, well, everyone be safe in Glasgow this evening, whichever team you support, and it's only a game. I suppose that's going to fall on deaf ears.
I've got a little brother at Edinburgh Uni, and explaining how terrifying that one gets as well. I mean, it's not anything compared to the Glasgow derby, but
No,
Hibs Hearts gets. It does get a bit.
Yep. Well, Pakistan is certainly behind England's score after 10 overs in both runs and wickets. They're 80 for 4 now. England were 96 for 1.
I went to the Montrose Arbroath derby once, and they had a great chant, which was, "Do I know where hell is? Hell is in Arbroath."
That's amazing. I've got a bit of a soft spot for Hibs because my mate Matt Macy played for them for a bit after he left Arsenal.
Yep.
Yeah. He was the year below me at school.
Jordan's in again, into the pads of Azam Khan, who can't make contact. Jordan gets some applause from Josh Butler behind the stumps. And of course, well, you did touch on IPL, Will, and the number of runs being scored in that. I think that was significantly impacted, if I can use that word, by the impact sub.
Oh,
the fact
yeah.
that you've basically playing 12 aside, so you've always got an extra batsman.
I'm not going to lie, I still don't really understand the impact sub rule at all. In terms of the logic of it, and it just doesn't, it seems to completely change the game.
Yes, that one slices between bat and pad for Azam Khan. The bowler Jordan followed him quite cleverly, and I think we're seeing Jordan's experience compared perhaps to Azam Khan's lack of such here. But yes, I think they might well drop it next season. Hasn't it?
I hope so.
Yeah, I think they just want more runs. They just wanted more runs, and but they are going to realise it's going to very seriously affect the development of Indian all-rounders. So it's not helping them. Azam Khan steps away, and he's looking a little bit out of his depth here. I know it's difficult when you're playing a debut against an inexperienced team or one of your first games. He stepped away there and didn't get anywhere near it. He's on 2 off 6.
Just looking at Azam Khan, what kind of a message, though, does it, looking at the shape of him, what sort of a message does it give out to people who are, it doesn't really matter what our fitness regime is. If you're, I can't imagine another international team at the top level into which he'd be even considered the shape he's in.
Well, I'll come to that in a second. Jordan, he gets a decent bat on that one, though, backs away, and he's hit it behind backward point, proves all wrong with a boundary 4.
I do think
there's a guy for South Africa, I don't know if he's still in the setup, but he certainly was a couple of years ago, called Mangala. He was also a very big guy. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he apparently...
in Cornwall.
Well, yes, but Mangala passed all South Africa's fitness tests. He passed their group test, he passed their distance running test. He passed all the tests that Danny Van Niekerk so famously failed. Now he's got another good shot away there, Azam. He's backed away. That's a little bit shorter that time, and Jordan was cramping him up on leg stump, so I don't know why he decided to give him room. He's gone for 2 4s as a result. And it's a no-brainer. So that's how quickly things can turn around.
Over the line! Huh? I'm sorry, Smokey. You were over the line. That's a foul.
Look, yep, looks pretty clear. So that's not a good result for Chris Jordan. He's going to have to bowl this one again as a free hit. And I don't think we're going to see this one so far outside off stump. Scoreboard hasn't cottoned on just yet. Or indeed at all. It's still saying the over is complete, which it is not. Jordan's going to come in. And it is on leg stump, but he gets it away. Azam, has he got it in the gap? Not quite. One bounce out to Will Jacks. Get through for a single, so not too much damage off the free hit. But Azam rather turned that over around, and Pakistan 91 for 4.
A few messages coming in on YouTube. Mayank says, weird how England and Pakistan won't be playing any warm-up games because of this series, so they won't be ready for the conditions in the West Indies and USA. Leah Glasgow's a shithole on a day without footy. Wouldn't want to be there during a derby. Hattie the Batty, anyone for a scone with jam? And doing summer before the predicted thunderstorms. And Pokey Bumfinger, Pokey's snuff of the day is Dr. Romney's Brown, a plain tobacco number from Sheffield. Very nice. I'm game on for a scone, Hattie. Any cream in the offing?
With cream first or jam, though?
Oh,
cream first or jam first?
That'll light up the social feeds.
It will.
Oh, I've always gone jam then cream, but I'm sort of far too close to Devon and Cornwall to get into that debate.
Does Devon go one way and Cornwall the other?
Yeah. So I think it's this way around. I think that Cornwall is jam then cream and Devon is cream then jam.
Well, Archer's in again, and Archer has picked up his first wicket on his return to the England team. Thakur Azam rather tamely chipped that one up straight to Moeen Ali at cover. Archer is all smiles, as he should be. That's a nice moment for him. And Pakistan are 91 for 5.
The crowd says, you're out.
Sorry, Will, I would literally have only have interrupted that for a wicket.
Absolutely fine. Honestly, Jofra's much more important than my wafflings about jam and cream on scones. But yeah, because I'm sort of Somerset way, so I'm far too close to it geographically, and I don't want any
death threats
from the south.
Yeah, need to be able to walk home at night.
Yeah,
where does
exactly.
Where does Somerset sit?
So, well, it's a weird one. because
Is it?
it's such. It's such a weirdly shaped county, and it's so big that it actually changes sort of as you go around the county. If you're taking it in terms of cricket, like Taunton way, I think it's sort of more cream than jam. But then over here, I'm kind of Bath way, so still in Somerset, but about as far away from Taunton as you can get and still be in Somerset. And it's the other way around.
Right, so it's a bit like California, where they often think of themselves as two states. In fact, there's a song by Pavement called Two States. A bit like that for Somerset.
I think so. It's weird that...
Oh, it's a good Yorker from Jofra as it comes back in. Sorry, I thought he was going to have an LBW shout there, but he's evidently got some bat on that new batsman, who is Iftikhar.
It's weird for us, particularly sort of... So in Bath, you're much closer to the Gloucester County Ground, but if you get picked up for an academy, it's pretty much always Somerset because you are in Somerset.
Joffrey's in again, onto the hip, and a bit too quick for Iftikhar there. Can't get anything on it.
But it is a bit of a pain. You know, the hour and a bit in the car as opposed to 10 minutes on the train.
Well, Joffrey looks a bit fired up thanks to that wicket.
Yes, I was going to say that.
It's just a replay there. But I think some of the smiles afterwards, because he rather knew it wasn't that great a ball. It was right in the slot to be hit. And Azam didn't get his considerable weight into the ball. He rather flapped at it from a standing position. Joffrey's up around 90 miles an hour.
He's beginning to warm to his task.
He is. That's a little bit slower, that one, I think, and it's chopped down to point, but it's well picked up and there's no run. And Pakistan suddenly, this target looks a long way away because they now need 93 off 50.
That's a bit of an ask.
Pakar's still there though. Hasn't had much strike with the wickets falling at the other end.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did feel in the first innings, I agreed with Jez at the start of this one that Pakistan would find this chase a bit difficult. They're not done yet. That one's played down to third man. They should just be a single, top lead with the throw.
Edgbaston's always been kind of more bowler friendly, I think.
In white ball cricket?
I don't know. I mean, it always feels like that. It's a nicer place to bowl on than to bat on. Like, it's certainly sort of when I was sort of...
Archer's going to come in round the wicket, and Thakkar has a thought about playing that, then thought better of it. So this is a really good over. In fact, Archer has completed his over. That was much better than his first one, certainly. He's got a wicket, didn't go for many runs. England looking good now, Pakistan 92 for 5.
Yeah, as predicted, the jam and cream scone wars have broken out in earnest on the social media feeds. Pokey Bumfinger, I'm too clumsy to construct a cream scone either way. Pirate Badshaw, cream on jam, jam on cream. I mean, this is pointless. It's clearly jam on butter. Hattie the Batty, of course, plenty of cream of the clotted variety, Pokey. Kieran Roseblade, it's all academic. The scones are only made by people who can't bake a decent cake. Pokey Bumfinger, clotted cream is rare as rocking horse shit in West Wales. So that's just a little sample there.
I've always found the Leicester scone was particularly soft. As soon as you bite on top of it, everything splurps out everywhere anyway.
Yeah, so true.
Unless you actually split it open, of course.
Oh, do you not do that? That's the only way to do it, isn't it?
It probably is now. I think
and then you
yeah,
sort of.
Do you sort of treat it as a burger, Andy?
Perhaps that's why it wasn't working so well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's.
No one does that.
Yeah.
Thakkar gets a single up to long on. Well, at least we found something I think everybody will disagree with me on that front, and probably rightly so.
It's. Do Do you know, it's nice that there's still stuff in the world that you can have really strong opinions on, and it doesn't matter.
Oh, Livingston's in. Thakar's hit that way up in the air. Has he got enough? Once again, he has. That camera angle can be quite deceptive. It's a big 6 over long off.
Strong opinions about small things.
That keep us going, yeah. We rather got underneath that one, I did think, Thakar, but once again, he got enough on it straight. England giving their third spinner a bit of a tweak, but he's got away with that one outside off stump. No, he hasn't. It's a wide.
How much bowling time
will Livingston get? I'm not sure. Oh, that one's up
Yeah.
in the air again, unless it's a replay. Now, has he? I don't think he's got enough. No, he hasn't. That's gone straight to mid-on. So, Brooke with the catch. That's his first impact on the game. Livingston's in with a wicket, and that surely must be the end of Pakistan's chances of winning this game. 100 for 6.
I can catch up on a little. Suddenly everything's happening on socials. Brian in Brisbane, I've upset. What is Forthy on about the looks of a player? Round is a shape. Okay. Leah, shut up about that sickly sweet stuff. Give me a good Frisian pills and a curry verse. And Philip Shaw, what's the fastest cake? Scone. And Hattie Batty. Anyway, just turn it over when you do it wrong, then you'll be right whatever county you're in. And Pokemon Finger again. My favourite British rivalry is our many names for a bread roll. Oh, that's good.
Of course, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure that also goes within West and East counties having different names for it.
Yeah.
And Jay's made a couple of other points. I'm going to stick with scones for now. He says, is Southwestern scone preference like Man of Kent versus Kentish man? Fuck the old firm. Scones are the real heed the bar rivalry.
Also, a big one is, what do you call a woodlouse where you're from? Because that's a regional thing.
I thought that was going to be a joke.
No, genuinely. Like, so round here we call them chucky pigs.
That's another one I've never heard. I think
pigs?
it's called them
Chucky
woodlouses or lice.
I call them woodlouse, yeah.
Oh.
Well,
they're not called chucky pig. I've never heard of chucky pigs.
I've definitely never heard of chucky pigs. I would have thought they were some kind of sweet. Imad Wasim is in for Pakistan, and he has tipped one down the corner for a single. But really, I would think this would just be a bit of batting practice from here.
And presumably there are other names apart from chucky pigs. Is that what we're opening up?
Yeah. So my old housemate from uni called them chicky pigs. She's from Oxford. So, and then like there's a different there is and there's a Wikipedia page about it and everything.
I'm sure.
Like with it is
a couple of leg spinners from Livingston, and the second one turned even more than the first. The first one, the batsman swung and missed. The second one straight to Bowen Alley. So Livingston, after being hit for 6 off the first ball, picks up a wicket, doesn't go for any more runs, and England's spinners doing the job here.
I think, tragically, I think that might be the end of our time together, is it?
We were due to go through to the end of 13, so we'll have to save a lot of that for the month ahead.
Yeah, indeed. Okay. So is that the end of us? That was fun.
Yeah, it is. You two are relieved of duty. Thank you very much for your time, Forthy.
Most enjoyable.
Indeed. And same to you, Will. Message is going to come back in. I'm going to take us through to the end of what's turning into a sort of bear game, let's be honest.
Which is a bit of a shame. It looked like it would be competitive, but England spinners have been a bit too good.
Yeah, and Adil Rashid is in again. Smashed back down the ground by Imad. And he's going to get 4 because he hit it very, very, very straight. And so there it is, 4 runs.
Well, it may be a bear game, Bear, but the GPL is going to come into play quite soon.
Ooh.
And there are 18 entries today, so there's a chance that someone might win 51 quid.
Let me have a look. advantage. Oh yeah, so play back to the bowler. Big swing, no ding, no run.
So I would expect sort of about 310, 320 to be in the game here.
Well, the lowest pick is 306.
That's a big hit. Down the track's come in, Matt, and actually he's waited quite well because it seems to be a bit more loopy and get to him a bit slower, but he sort of stopped himself and then hit it. And hit it a long way, over long off, on even. And that is a 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep, nice hit.
Yeah, it was.
Good use of the feet as well. He make sure he stayed close to the line of the ball.
Yeah. Well, Rashid this time bowls on his pads, pokes it into the leg side, as is typical at this point in the game. There is no mid-wicket, so Rashid has to go and field off his own bowling near the 30-yard circle. Get through for a single. 72 required from 38, so that's not quite to a ball, is it? No.
It's getting there, though.
It is getting there.
6 wickets down. I think this is, again, perhaps not the intensity of match practice they would have liked at this point, but perhaps get some of that in the next 2 games.
Possibly. Well, Iftikhar, giving some Humpty. 2 off 7 now becomes 8 off 8 at least. As he finally gets hold of one, puts it back over Adil Rashid's head into the stands. 6 more.
2, 4, 6.
It's cleared the front leg, swung through the line and connected.
Well, maybe these 2 batsmen can give us a bit more of a game than we were expecting.
Well, yeah. A few 6s will help, funnily enough. Adil Rashid is in. Last ball of the over. Slides on a bit. It's half fielded by Moeen. Then fielded again by Jofra. Just be a single. Iftikhar will retain the strike, 9 off 9. Over to you, Messi.
Hadi the Baddie says, "Oh, I love a currywurst." Bap, bap, bap. Leia, presumably in relation to woodlice, says, "Isopodo are a sane." End of discussion. Which I assume a German word. Kieran Roseblade says, "Who's that spinner who played for England in the ODI World Cup that hadn't played before but was decent? He's in our T20s. Is he in our T20s squad?"
You mean Rayan Ahmed?
Rayan Ahmed, that's right. There's a quiz I remember that can identify where you're from by asking regionalist vocabulary questions. It pegged me accurately to North Dublin, says Parrot Badger. It was by the New York Times. Yeah, I saw that one too, Parrot. It didn't quite get me because
you're an Englishman in Perth.
Yeah, yeah.
Archer's back into the attack. He's got 2 to go. 1 for 16. Slower ball, I think. It's just guided down towards short third man. He does stop it. Doesn't burst through him. It's mopped up by Jacks. They'll get through for a single. 120 for 6.
On the woodlice, Jay says, "I love the French word for woodlice. Piglets of St. Anthony."
Did St. Anthony do to deserve that?
But where do pigs come into woodlice? I don't get it. Archer around the wicket, and Imad gives himself some room to give it a swipe. It's bowled into his pads, and he can only swipe it up to long on for a single. Imad Wazim can hit a long ball, can't he? But I don't know what he's in after this. Mohammed Amir can swing.
I don't think he's going to score 63 or 34.
No,
someone's on the pitch. No one likes to see that. We want to see it. We want to see him get rugby tackled.
Yeah, exactly.
Dodge around and see if he can evade the stewards.
What is he? Just up oil, free Palestine? What is he? You know.
Yeah, well, we're not going to see it. So
I'd say he's a drunk brummie, basically. That's what I'd say. Does give the security guard something to do for once, because most of the time they just sit around doing fuck all.
It would really annoy me. Most of the time they have to sit with their backs to the action, don't they, or something stupid like that.
Well, that's what they're paid for, yeah.
I know.
We still see some feet running around the outfield, so I don't think they've run down the perpetrator just yet. Or perhaps they're all just running around to give him a good shoeing.
Well, one more run brings the GPL into play. There.
What did England get again? 182.
183.
183.
Yeah.
So what are we on? 30.
304 at the moment.
Oh yeah, so it does.
Let's see whose concentration that disrupts, batsman or bowler. Joffre's still waving some people around. Seem to just disrupt everybody. Right, get back into it now. Bear, you're commentating, yes?
Yeah, my daughter's trying to call me. That's pulled out to cow corner, and there is no run. Let me just text my daughter.
I'm on Guerrilla Cricket.
Basically.
Yeah. Try again later.
62 off 33 needed for Pakistan, but they're 6 wickets down and there's no impact sub to come and save them.
For a generation that basically doesn't believe in speaking to each other, they managed to call me at the most inopportune times to speak to me. Most people they just communicate with by text. That one is hoiked with no real time out to long on where it's fielded. There'll be a single. It's all gone quiet again. They need boundaries.
Yeah, well, Joffre's had a good couple of overs after that first one.
Yeah, the first one was a bit of a horror, but since then he has been good. He's all smiles, I like to see.
Well, hopefully be okay tomorrow.
Well, that'll be the big test, won't it? And whether he can play another game on Tuesday. Then I'll probably give him the third one off. Anyway, just for the hell of it.
There's only one more, isn't there? Because the first.
Oh yeah, the first one was called off.
No,
yeah.
there's 4 though. There's 2 more.
Oh, are there? All right.
Okay. That's a slower ball and it's guided by Iftikhar, but can't beat the man, short third man on the edge of the circle, who will stop it. There will be no run. It's a good ball, 77 miles an hour.
He's hit 1-6 Iftikhar, but he hasn't been able to rotate the strike much apart from that.
That's a good slower ball, wasn't it? Just lets it slide out the side of the hand. Doesn't really change his action at all, mind you. Lots of people are good at that now.
Well, if you haven't got that skill,
yeah, exactly. In the modern age, I mean, precisely. Bangs that one in a bit more. This time pull out to deep backward square. It'll be just the one. 60 for 30. It is 2-a-ball now.
Yep.
With only 4 wickets left.
They should have Mohammed Amir, Haris Rauf and Shaheen Shah feeding to bat, which is not the strongest.
It's not the strongest, all capable of big hits, but you'd think they'd be out there for a good time and not a long time.
Leah says, I mean, the hedgehog has no relation to pigs, yet here we are. Yeah, true. While I think of it, if I watched the first 2 episodes of the most recent series of The Test on Amazon last night, I can recommend it. It's great just to relive some of the drama of the Ashes series, and I just like the way it's made, to be honest. You may or may not like the characters in it or the Australianness of it to a certain extent, but I really just enjoyed going back to the Ashes again, to be honest.
There's a tweet not aimed at us, but it says, "Where's Johnny B when you want a pitch invader dealt with?"
Yeah, we all remember that.
He was there.
Yeah, true. That's a very full ball outside off stump. I think he took the pace off it, and it was just guided down to Johnny B. Funnily enough, he's a sort of backward point third man, looking quite beefy.
I mean, maybe he did tackle the invader. We didn't get to see.
Well, we didn't get to see.
No.
There was a single, 125 for 6.
As long as it wasn't, what's his name, Java?
Oh, yes.
Serial pest.
That's another slower ball. Again, he doesn't get all of it, but he gets it over the infield. does Imad behind square on the offside a point, and it scootles its way off to the boundary. It'll be 4 runs. And yeah, he's just swung basically and managed to get enough on it.
Well, Topley's probably got to play just because he provides something different with that left arm angle, but I'm not sure he's really convinced for England.
Oh, I think he has. I think he's a good bowler. Injured too much. Attempted cut. Didn't beat. Who was that? That was
Jacks
at the point. I think they got through for a single there.
They should have gone. Yeah,
yeah, they did.
27, yeah. But Iftikhar, 13 or 14. Again, the real problem is too many dot balls from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been
13 or 14.
19 off 9 isn't getting enough strike.
Yeah, exactly that. Reece Topley is in. It's full toss outside off stump. And oh, terrible whiff. Who the fuck was that? Johnny B, you fat fuck. He
pots and kettles.
Yeah, well, I know, but I'm not out there playing for England.
He's not on a central contract, though.
He's gone down to field that, and he's just basically fucked it all up, and it's gone past him and hit the sponge.
Well, I was expecting to see no one there, so I was going to say it was a bad ball, but actually, if you've got your deep third man, it's okay, providing he fields it.
Yeah, well, exactly, but he didn't field it. Twat. Reece Topley is in. Oh, that's gone a long way, has it?
Wow.
Yeah, I think it has. It's gone a very long way. Into the arc, and Iftikhar has swung big time over deep backward square leg for 6 runs. He's dragged it back 44 off 25. Looks a bit more enticing.
Yeah, perhaps we will get a bit more of a test for England's death bowling. Yeah. No Sam Curran today.
No. I guess Jofra's got 1 more left.
Yeah, I think so.
Adil Rashid's probably got
after this one.
Adil Rashid
I'm not
got
sure
a couple.
Is Rashid going to bowl in the last 4?
Well, interesting. I don't think you should be scared of bowling.
No.
Well, no, that might have gone straight up by the looks of Iftikhar there. It has indeed. Jordan's underneath it, and he's safe pair of hands, that
Jordan
boy.
ain't dropping it.
He is not dropping it. He's tried to repeat the dose, but he's got a big fat outside half of the bat. It's gone a long way up in the air. And about halfway down to the boundary at long on. Jordan has steadied himself underneath it and taken a good catch over his shoulder. And Iftikhar is out, and maybe that slows things down again.
On your bike, mate.
Well, Kieran Rosebank says if Iftikhar's out, it's a Bear game, though. In fact, it's so dead, Bear could probably bowl here, have an over or 2, and England still be safe. Pokey says that evidence suggests that Bairstow eats whatever pitch invaders he can catch. Kieran says, can't bowl, bat, can't bowl, can't keep, can't field. The only reason I can think that he's still in the team is that he owns the local minibus company, so provides them all with free transport to games. When you get a hate on someone, Kieran, do it properly. That's what
Go for it, yeah. Well, Jordan's got 2 overs left, and Jofra, Archer, and Reece Topley 1 each, so that's probably the way they're going to go. Should those 4 overs all be required?
Yeah, might not be. Who's going to be in now?
Jordan's going to bowl. Probably Mohammed Amir.
You think so?
Maybe Shaheen Shah Afridi, actually. I think he's possibly the most capable.
Oh, I think if they're all out without any more runs, I'll win the GPL. So let's hope for a hat-trick.
Jordan hat-trick, yep. No, it's the other one. It's Harris Ralph.
No. Yeah, it's Shaheen. That's it.
That's him, man. Sorry. Yep.
Was that the end of the over? Oh, it was the end of the over. That's why I was going to say. Why is Shaheen not facing. That must have been the last ball of the previous over.
That'll be it. Yeah,
Jay says, tell your daughter to come to Sheffield University. We are renowned for our vibrant raconteurs. No, really, we don't. We're either monosyllabic or gobshite, sometimes in the same sentence.
Yeah. I wonder how my daughter is going to cope at university.
When's she going?
September. She's never drunk
Where's
booze.
she going?
Well, she wants to go to Warwick University, which is actually Coventry, as we've discovered. But Warwick sounds much better.
Of course it does, yeah.
Oh dear.
Makes you think of castles and quite a nice country town, but Coventry.
Yeah.
If not Coventry, I think Southampton's her second choice, and then maybe Sheffield, I think third. She put down Bristol, but doesn't want to go because they're all posh twats.
Oh, well, if she goes to Sheffield, then Jay can look after her.
Yeah.
That ain't happening.
What?
Well, we haven't had another ball yet.
I think we missed one. He might have got a single.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. I missed it. Jordan, full and on the pads. Shane Freely works it into the leg side. They set off thinking about 2, but it's not there. And again, a little bit of big hitting from Iftikhar brought them back into it, but of course the wicket counts and slows things down once again. Imad 20 off 10 though.
Yeah, it's only Imad and Thakur have really made an impact in this innings. Babar hit some nice shots, but he was 32 off 26, which is below what you're looking for to chase 180.
Yeah.
Yep.
Iftikhar did alright, didn't he? Or did he not in the end?
23 off 17 in the end, too many dots in the middle.
Yeah. That's drilled back down the ground, but into the ground, which takes the pace off it, and they'll only get 1 down to long off. But Joffre is fielding.
Well, even Jordan's still getting up to 89. You know,
yeah.
It's basically the same pace as Joffre.
It's true.
Yeah.
You can kind of see how Jordan just sort of does enough in all 3 areas to sneak into these squads. He can't keep doing it forever, obviously.
No, of course, but
I can see it.
He certainly brings something to the table with his fielding, doesn't he? You can rely on him to catch virtually anything.
Some of his catches are just amazing.
Yeah.
I remember he got one here in Perth, playing for the Perth Scorchers, which was just totally unbelievable.
Yeah.
Nobody else I know could have
top quality pair of hands. That was 90 miles an hour. And I think it was inside edged onto his toe, or pad, and it goes out to the offside, and they scramble through for a quick single. That's an appeal for Jordan, but there's definitely bat first.
Well, Imad's got to do something pretty quick here.
Yeah, needs to be hitting it out of the park, every other ball, basically.
I don't care as long as it ends in the score ends in a 0, I win.
Okay. Well, it's not at the moment, which is a good thing. They can lose 2 wickets now, 3 wickets now. That's cool. That one's bunted out into the offside, and it'll be a single. They'll get through 145 for 7, 39 required. 27 deliveries.
He's hitting his Yorkers well enough, Jordan, but you do get more leeway against the lower order than a top order batsman will give you.
39 off 19 balls. Yeah, I was going to say that was too much in Pakistan's favour there.
So who else is in the GPL running there? I've got all the ones that end in 3s, but there's a lot of other.
Yeah. So there's you, JB has got 1 at 330. Yoel Rubin has 305, 306, 315, 316, 325, 326, 335, 336.
Well, we're already on 330.
328 we're on at the moment, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or 329, sorry.
So where are we up to? He's just lost those 2. So JB's next on 830. 3:30. Sorry, 8:30, 3:30. So what are we on now? Sorry, what did you say?
3:29.
3:29.
Joffrey's going to bowl this one.
And that's stopped in the picture. He looked like he was winding up and then just plopped it back down the track. There is no run. Yeah, Archer 1 for 21, 3.1. What did he go for in his first over? 14, 15, maybe a bit more.
At least 15. Yeah. So it's very good.
Very good comeback.
The wicket was a little bit soft. Azad just popped a slot ball up to cover.
Yeah.
But I think that maybe just gave him a little boost.
Yeah. Pace has been reasonably good.
Yeah, it's like everybody's just starting to get back into it, really, isn't it?
Yeah. He's got such a lovely action. That's a slower ball. And it's mistimed by Shaheen up to mid-on. They saunter through an agreed single.
Well, you've still got a situation where some of the players have been playing IPL and the others either doing nothing or red ball cricket at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or whatever Archie was doing was bowling in club games in the Caribbean or something.
Yeah, just warming up when he wasn't supposed to either, was he?
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to. He was caught. That's caught as well. Imad has tried. He's connected pretty well with it actually. It was low full toss outside his off stump. He's backed away and he's kind of toe ended it, but enough in the meat that it's carried all the way out to the fielder at point. Who was Salt? Was it Salt out there? And it's a pretty good low down catch. Yeah,
I don't know how he's got it all the way up there. It was practically a Yorker.
Yeah, it's I kind of hit it on the half on as it's bounced
Livingston with the catch, I think.
Yes, it is.
But he timed it. It came off the bat quite nicely, didn't it? Kind of out the meat, and he just sort of pushed it out there. Such is the way. But he has to go. 22 off 13 wasn't so bad.
Good try, didn't get a lot of strike.
Yeah, he was going to a ball at one point, wasn't he? But we have to say goodbye to him.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
So this game is going to be done in about 3.5 hours, which is pretty good.
Well, compared to what we've been doing.
Yeah, precisely.
Yes. Yeah.
Archer.
Well, only having one drinks break helps too.
Yeah.
And not reviewing wides and all that shit.
Yeah, exactly that. In outside edge from around the wicket, Archer into who's the new batsman? Is it Mohammed Amir? Huh? That look like Mohammed Amir to me.
May well be.
Yeah, it is, because he's left-handed, Mohammed Amir, and he's got great jingle, so we've got to play it.
Put some money on this motherfucker. No ball.
Round the wicket, Archer. Mohammed Amir digs down out, pretty full ball following him in as he tries to back away to leg side, forced out to the covers boundary, and it'll be just the one run.
I'm going to say I don't mind reviewing wides because it can make a big difference towards the end of the game, and you've still only got 2 reviews, so it's not like you've got carte blanche.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I honestly don't know if that is going to be the situation or not in the World Cup. I will try to
I'm
find
pretty
out
sure it
before
isn't.
it starts.
I guess. I mean, it still seems quite subjective. That one is played up to mid-off. The problem with it is quite subjective because it's the players who then go across outside off stump, and then the ball's wide of the blue line.
There's still been a couple of odd ones, I agree.
Yeah, and so is it best off just leaving it down to the umpire because it's it goes either way as well.
Anyway, that's good work from Jofra. 2 for 28. And he went for at least half of those in his first over.
I mean,
as long as he wakes up in one piece tomorrow, that would be a successful start.
Exactly that. But do you think if there'd been,
He's actually, is he going off? I think he's got. No, he's just going. We're just going to the boundary. No.
He's going to look for his drink.
Yeah.
Or his hat.
Kieran on about Bairstow again says, I can't stand the man. I'm not usually a hateful person, but he really gets under my skin. I don't know why. He's just blood boiling. I think all of us got some of those. I feel similarly about Karen. I know Hendo does about Steiners. Yeah, no logic.
There's an appeal for LBW. Hold on. Jordan has got it because it didn't pitch. I think it's been reviewed immediately by
I think that is out if there's no bat on it.
If there's no bat on it, I think it's definitely out.
Hit him in front of leg stump.
Yeah, even if it was outside, it hadn't pitched anyway, so it didn't matter.
No, I think if it was... What if it was impact outside leg stump?
I think it is. I've just seen it on my real-time thing, and I think it might well be outside leg stump hitting.
Yeah, but does it matter? Because if it pitches out, if it pitches outside leg, then you can't be out.
Yeah,
but it hasn't pitched. That's my point. If it hasn't pitched,
but
you don't take it. The impact point doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. It's got to hit him in line, and I think it's hit him outside the line.
Possibly. I can't remember.
Well, it's something that doesn't happen very often. It's because he's bowling right arm, impact outside, green, not out. Yeah, it's because he's bowling right arm over to a left-hander from the angle, smashing into the stumps, and just because it was full, it didn't pitch outside leg stump, but it hit him outside leg stump, and I must admit that's also a new one on me, but I'm sure that hasn't changed or anything. It's just quite an unusual situation.
Yeah. Well, the score remains 1-5-3 for 8. 31 required. Yeah, exactly. Off 11. Jordan comes in again, and Shane Freedy tries to go right way across and paddle it. Jordan's wily enough to follow him, and he sort of Q-ends it into the ground, and it goes to the man on the 45 on the edge of the circle, and it'll just be a scampered single.
Just about on the wicket.
Yeah. That's really quite funny. Tried to adjust, to be fair, and try and then bunt it on the offside, try and skew it over whoever was at short third. He couldn't manage it.
It was a tough shot to play for anybody from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon. Joe Root could have got away with it, I suspect.
Maybe. The only one.
Jordan has bowled him. Slow ball round the leg side. Mohammed Amir tried to do the paddle round the corner. In fact, Mohammed Amir is smiling as he walks off. He knows he got done like a kipper. It was a slower ball. He went right inside it. Missed it completely, and it just bobbled up, hit his middle stump, and it's almost lights out for Pakistan. 1-5-4 for 9. So let's watch
3-3-7. I was going to say that's all that's in play now is the GPL.
3-3-7. Ooh, you've just missed Yoel Reuben, who was on 3-3-5, 3-3-6. Messengers is next up on 3-4-3. So what do you need? 5 runs? No, 6.
6 runs.
Ooh, that's only 1 hit. 6 and out.
6 and out.
Yeah.
Jordan has got a couple of wickets, bowled well.
Yeah, he's quietly had a good game as well, taken a couple of good catches.
Yeah. He's a good workhorse, Jordan. He's like your sort of invisible defensive midfielder.
I think that's his only wicket. I think that's the only wicket he's taken though. Now looking at the scorecard. Yes. Still, he's got a good shot at another one here.
Harris Ralph is the last man in. He has a jingle. Goes a bit like this. He gets his first ball as a low full toss, which he crashes up the ground. Fielded by Jofra Archer. They should get back for 2. They do.
It's another good Yorker, and it was well played.
Yeah, dug it out quite well, didn't he? I'm going to check this, but he didn't. He might have touched the sponge after he got rid of the ball. Other than that, he was clearly inside. Well, hopefully, as Andy said, he comes up roses tomorrow and everything is good with the world. Slower ball again into the pitch. Pace comes off. Big attempted heave by Harris, but he can only glove it into the ground and there is no run. 28 required off 8 balls.
They got through for a single. For what it's worth.
Sorry, yeah, they did get through for a single. 157, 183. So that's 93.
I didn't really want that single. A nick for 4 would have been good.
340 we're on then. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And is anybody else in the hunt if they get a few more?
Yeah.
Yes.
Reuben comes in at 345 again, so that one is hit into the ground, straight back down the ground. Now will be just a single.
It's end of the over, just one to go.
And the score is
Hattie the Baddie says, I live just outside Coventry in a very pretty village called Brandon, next door to Woolston with a stream and ducks. That sounds a lot nicer than Coventry itself. Kieran says, can't be out if you hit you're hit outside the line though, Bear, whilst trying to play a shot. And Pokey says, have that, Amir, you cheating fucker. I'm always amazed he even comes here after being in our prison. Never forget, Pokey, never forget. Jay says irrational cricket hatreds are a grand tradition. Midar loathes Alex Stewart. When pressed, it's because he looks like a Tory. The man lionises CB Fry, for fuck's sake.
He is a Tory, Alex Stewart.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Into the pads, out to the leg side. It's going to be chased down by the bowler, Reece Topley. They'll get back for 2 and not an overthrow.
Oh. Still, maybe he's not anymore. I think I've only got to get about 5% of the vote.
So, we're in Messages territory on 343.
Yeah, we are. And Jay has promised that if your daughter who doesn't drink booze comes to Sheffield, I'll buy a personal GPS system so we never have to meet. I have many things to recommend me, but a chaperone to an 18-year-old student is not in my skills. He says there's quite a dearth of posh twats, mind.
Yeah, well, I think that would be...
That is true. That is true, Sheffield, yes.
Well, that's cool. She'd be happy with that, I think.
And he also says he's pat tea over the Amir jingle. Mint.
Well, Reece Topley is in. It's smeared by... Has it gone up in the air? It could be it. You've got a chance. It's going to be out. Oh, it is out. And Messi Jez has won the GPL. Shaheen Shah-Afridi has spanned it up in the air. It's gone down the cow corner. He hasn't got enough on it. It was caught. Was it Phil Salt or was Harry Brook who made it in the end? It was Phil Salt. Came round. There were 2 of them converging on it. England have won the first. No, not the first. The second, but the first one was basically rained into oblivion in Yorkshire. What a surprise. The second one at Edgbaston is won by England by 23 runs. They'll move on to... I don't know where they're playing actually on Tuesday.
Probably Trent Bridge or something. I'll tell you what, Bear, leave 30 quid in the pot and send me the rest.
Okie dokie. Alright, I can do that.
We're off to Cardiff. It's a home game for Imad Wazim.
Ah, yes.
It's finally this returning son.
Yeah. Well,
that was comfortable enough. I felt towards the end of the England innings and the start of the Pakistan innings there was a bit too much naysaying of England's total. We're not in the IPL now, and 180.
That's what I was saying. I thought 180 was pretty much the right side of okay.
Total,
yeah,
and I expect that to be a decent total at most of the venues.
That's exactly what I was saying, Andy. It was the bigger boundaries, isn't it? Some of these shots that were mishit that were going to go for 6.
Subs, so
yeah. Exactly, I think the high 180s.
Performance from England. Thacker Zaman worried them a little bit. They had an odd bat over here and there from Topley and Archer, but generally I think they'll be pretty happy with that. They've got plenty to work on in the next 2 games. Obviously, Brook needs a knock or 2.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll be too worried about it.
Main concern at the moment.
Maybe, but maybe don't trust him enough. It's a good enough bat.
So just to remind people, we're back tomorrow for the final of the IPL.
We sure are. I'll be back in the studio.
I'm not in tomorrow. I've got a football duty. So enjoy the final of the IPL. Seems a bit of a shame to
let's
miss the
just-
final, having done everything else, but I'm not actually that bothered.
Let's just hope for good weather. I don't want to be in there. I don't want to be 7 hours watching covers go on and off.
Yes.
yeah.
There isn't forecast rain, is there? That would be. Oh no, because
I don't
last
know.
year they went to.
Last year it went 2 days and through to midnight. So
Yeah, fuck that.
yeah.
Yeah. Forget it. Well, we'll be back for that. I shall set up a GPL with a new pot starting at 30 quid. And yeah, see you all. Well, I'm not in on Tuesday either. It's my wife's birthday. So I'm not in for
I
the
just
next
got
couple
some
of games.
thanks from Ombre Nuovo and from Jay and from Kieran. Thank you all for being with us. Do join us tomorrow. It's nice when we've got lots of people. We had lots of comments today, and it makes it much more interesting when you're part of the show. And it might be exciting tomorrow.
Might be.
You never know.
You never know.
just don't beg for viewers too hard.
Yeah.
Find the balance.
Exactly. So until tomorrow, we shall say goodbye. Goodbye.
Yep. Bye for now.
Bye bye.